You can't do much in under 5 minutes. Boil an egg? Sure. Cook a roast dinner? No chance. But comparing car insurance prices with mustard.co.uk? Easy. See what you could save in just a few minutes. Click mustard.co.uk. Authorised and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. See website for details.
Max Millions, Max Millions.
Welcome to Max Millions, the casino with winnings that are in a completely different universe.
Max Millions.
Make a splash and win up to 500 free spins playing Storm to Riches. Plus dazzling daily jackpots on fluffy favourites and Big Bass Splash. Take your seat at maxmillions.com. New players only, £10 minimum deposit, terms apply, 18 plus, begambleaware.org. Please play responsibly.
What's on TV? The answer is a lot. There's never been more choice over what to put on the box with an abundance of great new shows, but you can miss them all if you don't know where to look. And that's where the Pilot TV podcast comes in, your essential guide to every show that matters. Each week we sift through the very best in prestige TV to help you decide what's worth spending your time on and what isn't. So join me, James Dyer, as well as venerable TV critics Boyd Hilton and Kay Ribeiro, and let us help take the stress out of your downtime. The Pilot TV podcast, because you can't watch everything.
It's game day, and this is the home of Scottish football. It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard this Saturday. Another big day of Premiership action. League leaders' Hearts take a huge following to high-flying Motherwell. Dundee host St Mirren with both teams desperate for 3 points to push them away from the foot of the table. Kilmarnock and Dundee United meet at 5:45 later on, and it is the third round of the Scottish Cup. Some cracking ties as well. We'll look back at Celtic's win in Feyenoord in Martin O'Neill's final European game in charge, which silenced a few doubters, including one in this very studio, and they close in on their next boss, Wilfred Nancy. And Rangers, also playing on Thursday, they picked up their first point in Europe against 10-man Braga, but they felt it should have been more. Danny Rule's attention will now switch to tomorrow's game at Falkirk as he aims to make it 5 wins from 5 in the league. In the studio, we have Gorgon Dalziel, Cammy Bell and Hugh Keevins.
We might be short on fixtures, but we are long on consequences today. Motherwell are becoming one of the stories of the season. Hearts are the champions elect, but that description will be in the bin today if they lose at Fir Park. Will their bottle crash? Killie have lost 6 on the bounce. It couldn't be 7 today, could it? But they'll find that Dundee United are dangerous visitors. Speaking of which, Stuart Kettlewell, Kilmarnock, 6 defeats on the bounce for him. And Stephen Presley, 6 defeats out of 7 for the Dundee manager. And they could really be doing with scoring a goal. They haven't scored a goal. This is some research, this. 5 hours and 34 minutes. I will do Stephen Presley a favour and I'll tip St Mirren to win today.
I'm looking forward to it. I know it's a split weekend. Obviously the big 2 playing tomorrow because of your and obviously Aberdeen. I'll include them because of Thursday night. But I tell you what, all eyes will be firmly focused on Fir Park. What a crowd, what a cracker of a game, and Motherwell will really fancy that. That's a difficult one from Hearts, especially 1 point out the last 6, sitting top of the league, so that's a big game for them. Then into what my favourite time of the year is, the Scottish Cup, and at 3 o'clock I'll give you the one that will shock you all.
Yes, an afternoon that I'm really looking forward to. Daz just mentioned there, Fir Park. I think all eyes are firmly on Fir Park today. It'll be interesting to see. Hearts need to react after that defeat last weekend. Motherwell are in fantastic form. Great midweek win against Hibs. So yeah, eyes are firmly on Fir Park today for me.
And Hearts have sold every ticket for that big stand behind the goal. You know, that's what Celtic do. That's what Rangers do. Today, Hearts have done it. Every ticket sold. Fir Park will be bouncing.
Yeah, Hugh, that's a team that fancy themselves in the title race. We will get there very shortly, but What another week it has been in the madness that is Scottish football. On Monday, Rangers sacked CEO Patrick Stewart and Kevin Thelwell, much to the delight of many supporters. Then you've got the huge game in Europe on Thursday night. They couldn't get over the line, although it was their best European performance of the season. On the other side of the city, Celtic closing in on Wilfred Nancy. We'll have more on that later as well. You'd expect that to be announced after tomorrow's game at Hibs, which is another huge match for Celtic on their travels, and it's almost certainly going to be Martin O'Neill's last game in charge. And who could forget, we're just 6 days away now from Scotland's World Cup draw. Has it sunk in yet for you listeners at home? Scotland are going to the Americas, but where will they be playing? Will it be in Canada, Mexico, New York and Boston? Will it be down in San Francisco and Los Angeles, perhaps Houston, Texas? We will find out on Friday, and we want to hear from you. Tweet us, send in emails, we'll have the open line later. We want to know where you want to see Scotland playing and why. Another huge weekend of football. So much to discuss, so much to look forward to. And of course, as I say, we'll have the open line later on to hear what you at home have to say. But first, let's get around the grounds. And there is no other place to start than league leaders' hearts at Motherwell. Fraser Wishart is at Fir Park.
Goodness, what a build-up you guys have given it in the studio. Hugh talking about the story of the season so far. Are they talking about their eyes being on Fir Park? And you're absolutely spot on. Motherwell are the team that everyone's talking about at this very moment. So a lot of focus on this game today. Table-topping Hearts visiting in form Motherwell. What is the promise of being a cracking game? Game of the weekend, never mind of the day. Hearts' form has stuttered a little in recent weeks. They dropped points in 3 of their last 4 games since they beat Celtic at Tynecastle, culminating that defeat against Aberdeen last week. But when you look at it, they've got 3 wins and 2 draws in the last 6, and they can go 7 points ahead of Celtic with a win today. But it won't be as easy, because as we know, Motherwell have climbed into 4th place with 4 wins in their last 5 and a drop to the other one. 7 points, an exciting game here. Hearts top scorers with 29 in 13 games. Motherwell have weighed in with 22 in their 13 league games, and we've got the top 2 scorers in the league as well, Tawanda Maswanisi and Lawrence Shanklin. So Motherwell looking to build on their midweek win against Hibs. Apparently played very well, and I'll be interested to see how Derek McInnes approaches this one. Will he press Motherwell in their own half as he try to build up the play, or will he sit back and hit on the break with the pace they have an attack with Kizaridis and Braga? So whatever happens, I think it's going to be an exciting 90 minutes. Hearts with 1 defeat, Motherwell 2 defeats all season, so they're in great form. And as you were saying, fantastic to see the Hearts fans selling out their end. They will bring a huge bit of atmosphere and add to the occasion. Team-wise, Motherwell have made 4 changes from the team in midweek, and they've gone back to the 4-3-3 formation. Out go Gordon, Priestman, Sparrow and Charles Cook, who are all on the bench. In come Longello, Fadinger, Slattery and Hendry. So they've got Callum Ward in goals, Johnny Katrumbis, Paul McGinn, Stephen Welsh and Emmanuel Longello at the back. In midfield, Lucas Fadinger, Elliot Watt and Callum Slattery, with Tawanda Maswanise, Callum Hendry and Elijah just as the forwards. The substitutes are Matty Connolly, Stephen O'Donnell, Liam Gordon, Tom Sparrow, Apostolos Stamalatopoulos, Espa Osong, Oscar Priestman, Reagan Charles Cook and Ibrahim Saeed. For Hearts, they have made four changes as well. Steidwender's out completely. Kent, Magnuson and Kabori dropped to the bench. In come Halkett, Spittle, Shankland and Kingsley. And I think they're going to go with 4-4-2. A number of options given the players that are in it, but I think it'll be a 4-4-2 formation. Alexander Schwoloff in goals, Ushin McEntee, Craig Halkett, Stuart Finlay and Stephen Kingsley at the back. Across the middle, Harry Milne, Cammy Devlin, Blair Spittle and Alexandros Kizaridis, with the 2 strikers Lawrence Shankland and Claudio Braga. The subs for Hearts are Jordan Smith, Frankie Kent, Jamie McCart, Elton Kabangu, Pierre Landry Kabori, Christian Borsjovic, Alan Forrest, Thomas Magnuson and Sander Khartoum. And the referee today at Fir Park is Kevin Clancy, and the VAR is Gavin Duncan.
Fraser, for all the talk about Hearts, and rightly so, this season, do you think that Motherwell are actually the team coming into this game in better form?
Yes, I think they are. I think that the stats show that. Gabriel, I think that Hearts have just stuttered a wee bit in terms of the form. A couple of draws, and in that defeat last week they didn't play particularly well. Probably the first time this season they've not really threatened the goal enough, because they have scored so many goals at Pittodrie last week. But Motherwell just beginning to turn their form into wins. They've been playing well all season, and we all know, we talk about it, the way they play, but they're turning it into wins, and that's got them climbing the table. So for me, I think Motherwell are the favourites going into this game.
Hugh, is it fair to say it's been the best team in the league against the best footballing team in the league?
Yeah, I think it's an outstanding fixture, and I've been looking forward to it all week. I've had my fun with Hearts, the champions elect, but that will stop today if Hearts lose, because I will take that as symptomatic of a team who have climbed to the top but don't like it at the summit.
So if Arsenal beat today, you're backtracking.
Oh my God!
You're not even December.
I don't have time.
You've already you're about to backtrack already.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something. My wife bought tickets yesterday. My bucket list is incomplete until I see the Proclaimers live.
Yeah.
So she bought tickets for the Proclaimers for December, not December 2025, December 2026.
Well, a lot can happen in that
There'll be
time.
a free ticket going.
So I don't have time to mess about. They were champions-elect. They are champions-elect. If they lose today, they are deselected.
Do you know what's incredible about this Motherwell manager for me, right? He goes into the Hibs game on Tuesday night, he makes 5 changes. 5 changes. Right? They get a terrific result. Most managers would probably stay along the same lines.
Yep.
Fraser says there for Fir Park, 4 changes this afternoon.
Yeah.
So it just shows you he's just thinking out the box. He's going for the opposition, the best team to beat that opposition on the day. I love the way this guy's going about his business.
And he trusts his squad though. Again, that's ultimately what it's telling me. I spoke about this before. I always believed the way that Motherwell were playing, they were making mistakes at the start because it's a risky style of play to play out from the back. It was a new style of play for all these players to get used to. But I always firmly believed they would get better and better. The results would come, and they're starting to come now. And I expect Motherwell will get a result today. I really do. I think they're in brilliant form. They'll be very, very confident. It's a very good Hearts team they're playing. But this will be a big statement. If they can go and win today, it's a huge statement for Motherwell.
We have wallowed in Scotland getting to the World Cup finals. You've mentioned, Gabriel, that on Friday the draw will take place. The country will be in a state of high anticipation. But here is a game today not involving Celtic or Rangers which has gripped the public attention and sold the tickets. This is a great fixture for the SPFL in general and for the Premiership in particular. Outstanding fixture, 2 outstanding teams. Look forward to it.
Yeah, we will hear much more from Fir Park and we'll have much more build-up to that huge game. But let's go north. Let's go to Dens, where Dave Galloway is at Dundee against St Mirren.
Gabriel, it's very interesting at the top of the table, of course, as we have already touched upon, but it's exactly the same story at the bottom. Dundee sitting 11th after their worst run of the season, 6 defeats from 7, but incredibly they also managed to beat Celtic. St Mirren have rightly earned much praise for their achievements under Stephen Robinson, but they're only 1 point ahead of today's host. The only match they have won in their previous 7 was that League Cup semi-final victory over Motherwell. Both teams could really, really do with a lift. Will one of them get that this afternoon by getting a much-needed 3 points? Looking at the teams, Dundee make a couple of changes. In come Astley and Wesley, out drop Samuels and Digby, so it's McCracken in goals. A back 3 of Graham, Clark Robertson and Astley. Midfield, Wright, Danda, Hamilton and Ugan. Up top, it's Murray, supported by Wesley and Congreve. Their subs, O'Hara, Kumetio, Digby, Aqua, Finn Robertson, Hay, Samuels, Riley and Jones. St Mirren are unchanged, so it's George in goals, Fraser, Gogic and Freckleton at the back. The midfield 5, Richardson, Phillips, Bacchus, McMenamin and John. Up top, it's Mandron and Lundulu. The subs for the Buddies today: Tanzer, Donnelly, King, Idowu, Ayunga, Dykesteel, Taylor, Mooney and Tamo Savicius. Match referee here at Dens Park, John Beaton, and on VAR duties, Greg Aitken.
Dave, I'm glad you're not at another Noah match after Thursday night. But in all seriousness, you cover Dundee a lot, Dave. They're on that losing streak. They're really struggling at the moment. Can they change it? Because, as you say, they managed to get up for the big games, beat Celtic at home. They had that Rangers performance at Ibrox as well. But it's in a game like this against a team that are also at the bottom of the table, they really need to pick up 3 points, isn't it?
That is a massive question, and it's a massive mental test for the Dundee players and for their manager, who will, if he's not already, Stephen Presley, he'll be coming under more and more pressure. It's such an intriguing clash, isn't it? Because, there could be major ramifications for either team if they could get the 3 points. Of course, Dundee don't want to be bottom of the table come tea time tomorrow night, because it's entirely possible Livingston might do something against Aberdeen. Who would bet against that? So if Dundee lose and go bottom, will they be able to get off the bottom? As for St Mirren, they've got that cup final coming up as well. They badly need a lift as they head towards that, don't they?
Yeah, certainly. Hugh, St Mirren, the general feeling is that they are having a good season. They're in that cup final. They've had good performances as well. But does a loss today put them in a bit of danger?
Yeah, they're 2 points off the bottom of the league, Gabriel. So there's no way you can dress that up as a positive. That's a negative, but I will say they were far superior to Celtic last weekend, but for Callum McGregor and his resilience and that fantastic goal, they would have got something out of that match. But they are, nevertheless, 2 points off the bottom of the league. And my fear for Dundee, 5 hours and 34 minutes without a goal. Therefore, you can't cure your problems without scoring. It stands to reason, without goals, your problems will worsen. So they have to find goals from somewhere.
I can't see it being a classic, I've got to say, I think, because of the way Hugh describes it, both teams and the form that they're in. But I think it's so important for both teams. Dundee definitely need a win, and so do St Mirren. And I think Dave touches on it there about getting into the cup final.
Yeah.
You want to give them a bit of momentum. I thought that would have been the perfect carrot for the players to say, right, you're playing for your places at Hampden against Celtic in the cup final here. But I agree with you. I thought against Celtic they played well, but Celtic once again showed why they're the champions. McGregor steps up, fantastic goal to win the game for him. But that's gone now. It's easy to play against Celtic at home. It's easy to play against Rangers at home. Bigger crowd, you know what like it is. Every player will tell you, for some reason, you get that little half extra in your step and your pace of the game, everything about it. This is your bread and butter today. Going to Dens and getting a result. But Stephen Presley really needs a result as well. I don't think it'll be a classic, but I do think it's so important a game.
Yeah, no, again, you look at that, the bottom 4 in the league, St Mirren, Kilmarnock, Dundee, Livingston, it's very congested. There's not a lot, there's only 2 points in it between them 4 teams, so I see this as a big opportunity for both sides today to go and get 3 points. Listen, a draw does absolutely nothing for either of them, because as you say, both teams will be looking at this and thinking, 2 teams out of form, not playing well at the moment, not getting results, but if we can manage to put a good game together, get them 3 points and get it on the board, that catapults them up the league, especially for St Mirren, because St Mirren have got a game in hand over the other 3. So if they can get the win today and then win their game in hand, then it really catapults them up the league. But they need to start getting points on the board.
Yeah, enough about the league then. Let's quickly talk about the Scottish Cup. 3rd round is here. David Friel at the pick of the fixtures. Adrionians against Hamilton.
Yeah, and as Daz said, Gabs, it's always a great day in the calendar. Scottish Cup 3rd round, and I think this game should be a cracker. It's a Lanarkshire derby, and although it's Championship Airdrie against League One Hamilton, I think if you look at the 2 teams, they're very evenly matched. Both clubs have had their troubles this season, that's been well documented. Airdrie still have Aaron Taylor-Sinclair in charge after Danny Lennon was sacked. Rhys McCabe obviously started the season as manager. Airdrie are bottom of the Championship. They've struggled to find any consistency really, but they still have a real threat in the likes of Ewan Henderson, Chris Mockery up front. As for Accies, where they even begin with their current predicament, their current situation? They've relocated to Broadwood, they've had a 5-point deduction, they've also faced a pile of charges from the authorities. I don't think anybody really knows who's running the club right now, and I don't think it's over the top to say Hamilton are fighting to stay in business as things stand. However, full credit to John Rankin, really good manager, and his players are still churning out results. They've won 3 of the last 4. They would just be behind Inverness in 2nd place in League One if it wasn't for that points deduction. They're a good team, and in Ollie Shaw, they have one of the informed strikers in the country. He's got 16 for the season. He's got 14 goals in his last 13 games. Ollie Shaw, he's been about. I think Cammy maybe played with him a couple of times in his career, but he's still only 27, and you just wonder, given Hamilton clearly need money, if there will be a bit of interest in him in January. He's clearly too good for League One. He's obviously stepping up against a Championship team today, but he'll carry a major threat against Airdrie. Accies would obviously love a win here. They'd love a big payday in the next round with a glamour tie, but so would Airdrie, and I expect this to be a really full-blooded derby and a good game. Just run through the team. So Airdrie are going to line up Cade Melrose in goals, back 4 of Cole McKinnon, Aidan Wilson, Sean McGinty and Lewis Strapp. Midfield 4, Lewis McGrath and Gavin Gallagher, Dean Dean McMaster and Jamie Barr-Jonas, with Ewan Henderson and Chris Mockery in attack. Subs for Airdrie: McNeil, McDonald, Reid, McStravick, Xavier Jones, Ross, Cooper, Telfer and Hasty. That's what Hamilton, a lot of familiar names in their team. Jamie Smith in goal, Xander Hutton, Lee Kildare, Cale Lockery and Stephen Hendry at the back. Kel McDonald and Connor Smith will anchor the midfield. Scott Robinson, Kevin O'Hara and Stephen Bradley in behind Ollie Shaw. Subs for Hamilton are Marks McCluckie, Morgan Eadie, McKinstry and Darian McKinnon at the ripe old age of 40. The referee here for this derby is Duncan Nicholson.
Yeah, David Friel, sounds like a cracking cup tie. We'll hope for you that there's no extra time. We will build up to the games close to the kick-off, but when we come back from this, we will look back at all of the week's big talking points.
It's official, we're the Lidl Stone Price, which have crowned us the cheapest supermarket this October, beating all 7 other supermarkets, including their loyalty prices. So you know you can kickstart Christmas for less. Lidl, more to value. Findings based on independent price comparisons of 70 items by which every day in October 2025.
A Rayo original podcast.
Hiya, it's Gemma Atkinson. And you know what they say? You should never work with animals, kids, or your Spanish partner of almost 8 years.
8 happy years.
Oh, yeah. Join me and Gorka on our brand new podcast, Lost in Translation, where we lift the lid on family life and our perfectly imperfect relationship.
Listen to Lost in Translation now.
On the Rayo app, Apple, Amazon, Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, "Want to bet?" I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Betfred. 18+. Gambleaware.org.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits All Media is an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
The winning team all season long. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
You're listening to Clyde One Super Scoreboard. On Saturday, we're building up to the big games in the Premiership and the Scottish Cup third round as well. But it's this time of the show where we look back at all of the week's biggest stories. We're going to have to start on Thursday night. 2 massive games for Celtic and Rangers in the Europa League. Celtic shocking many people with an impressive 5-1 win in Feyenoord. They went a goal down but came back. Martin O'Neill's final European match in charge. Celtic fans jubilant, but some a little bit angry. You want to wonder why? This is what happened on Wednesday.
That for me, they're just far too short of quality. No matter how indifferent Feyenoord have been in their own domestic competition, they'll be too good for Celtic tomorrow night. However, those who are able to play are simply not up to it.
Hugh Keevins, the nation have waited with bated breath for you to address this.
Yes.
Now's your chance.
I didn't get to where I am today by making correct predictions. But as soon as Yang, and it had to be Yang, as soon as Yang scored, I had Marvin Bartley texting immediately. And when Celtic got a second, I had Bartley on again. And a third. And he cackled his way through all of Thursday evening. But first of all, I send congratulations to Martin O'Neill. It might have been a bad week for one 76-year-old, but for one 73-year-old, it was a very good week. The job that he has done, 5 wins in 6 games, is immense. And it was a result, dare I say it, that Brendan Rodgers wouldn't have got had he taken Celtic to Rotterdam to play Feyenoord. So immense congratulations to Martin O'Neill. Outstanding displays on the park. Reo Hatate, Daisen Maeda, Yang.
Your favourite.
So everything about it was exceptional. And I think Celtic will take a psychological lift from that. and they'll take it with them to Edinburgh tomorrow.
Yeah, just in terms of people trying to get a hold of you, we had people phoning on Thursday, where's Hugh Keevins? Last night on the usual Friday slot, where's Hugh Keevins?
Yeah.
Received an email at 1 a.m. on Friday morning. I can't read out what was in most of the email, but he did call you Mystic Mug, which I liked. That's quite a good one. Mystic Mug.
Yeah. Listen, let me tell you, I am not alone. Plenty of people thought that Celtic would lose in Rotterdam. I do not detract one iota from Celtic's performance. I commend Martin O'Neill and all of the players, but it was a result that very few people saw coming.
Yeah, in all seriousness, Cammy, Hugh was saying it's something that Brendan Rodgers might not have done. Celtic have struggled away from home in Europe for so long. I know they did improve a bit in the Champions League last season, but that was a really good result for them, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a brilliant result, and again, they played really well in the game. Fully deserved the victory. And as you said, going into it, totally agree with you. You look at from the outside in that for Celtic to go over to Feyenoord and get a win, probably you wouldn't predict that, but again, they've approached the game in the right manner. I think Martin O'Neill got his tactics spot on. The players looked absolutely up for it. It looked as if they had a new lease of life almost. Hatate was brilliant. Maeda looked as if he was back on form. So listen, they've got to take confidence from that performance and result. I felt as if it was one of the best of the season for Celtic so far, and I think they're going to be in a good place going into that Hibs game tomorrow.
Daz, how do you look back at Martin O'Neill's time in general, if you just look at the on-the-field stuff? 5 wins from 6, I think it is, and you've obviously got Hibs tomorrow. How do you assess his time back?
Yeah, listen, I'm not surprised. Martin O'Neill's a very experienced man-manager. It's well documented he's not the greatest coach in the world. It's not his strength. So he's brought Sean Maloney in. He's got a good staff with him as well. Look, he's went in there and steadied the ship. The other night there, I thought he made 3 changes from the starting line-up. 2 that I totally agreed with. Maeda through the middle, Donovan in it right back. I thought Ralston really struggled at St Mirren. And then Yang on the left. That was the one that sort of raised my eyebrows a little bit, and I do agree with you. But it worked perfectly for him. And it was all about timing. I think what happened was, when they went a goal behind, everybody was thinking, oh, this could be a long, long night for them. Showed great character, 1-1. And I'm thinking, looking at it on Thursday night in the studio, they were putting a little bit of pressure on him, thinking, just get in 1-1 at half time, settle everything down. That'll be a good 45 plus. Maeda does what he does brilliantly, doesn't he? He puts the goalkeeper under so much pressure. Hatate, simple passing to the back of the net. All of a sudden you're thinking, this is Celtic's night, and well done to him.
I will say that the players tomorrow owe Martin O'Neill. They owe Martin O'Neill a performance and the result against Hibs, because you picture the situation when Martin O'Neill came in, the parting of the ways between Brendan Rodgers and Celtic, the ongoing disconnect between the fans and the hierarchy at the club, and for Martin O'Neill to get 5 wins out of 6 is exceptional. And as I say, he deserves tomorrow to have one final wave towards the Celtic end of Easter Road, and he deserves to do it after they have given him a performance and full backing from the stand as well.
Well, listen, we'll have plenty more time to discuss and preview tomorrow's game at Hibs. I want to look a bit ahead, though. We're expecting Wilfried Nancy to be confirmed as Celtic's new manager shortly. David Friel at the game at Edry Hamilton for us today. You've had your ear to the ground with this story for a long time. Can you just give us a quick summary, keep us up to date? What are we expecting to happen? When are we expecting it to happen, and why?
Yeah, I think it's as close as it can be, Gabriel. Wilfried Nancy will be the next Celtic manager. It's expected to be announced probably in the next 48 hours at some point, and for him to be paraded at Celtic Park either Monday or Tuesday. Celtic have been finalising the details of his contract. He'll also bring Kwame Ampadu. He'll be his assistant manager. They're sorting that out over the last few days as well. I think he's also keen to bring another coach, sort of kind of analysis type, to the club from Columbus Crew, as well as a fitness coach. There's a gap there because Glenn Driscoll, who filled that role, left with Brendan Rodgers. I think on top of that, it's probably likely that Wilfried Nancy will have at least one sort of kind of Celtic coach, if you want to call it that, on his staff. I think there's a lot of contenders for that. You've got Sean Maloney, Gavin Strachan, Steve McManus, Mark Fotheringham, all there at the moment. It remains to be seen if they're going to be part of his backroom staff. But what I will say is, I think, although Wilfried Nancy is very hands-on, he'll do a lot of the coaching along with Kwame Ampadu. I do think that local knowledge is going to be really important, because Celtic, if you look at December, they've got 8 games in December, a lot of big ones in there, including that cup final. They've then got 7 in January at least, so I think Wilfred Nancy will be immediately thrown in at the deep end, but he might need some of that local knowledge just to help him through the early days of his reign. But as I said, apart from barring any late hitches, he will be the Celtic manager over the weekend.
I'm a little surprised, David, that he's not going to be at Easter Road tomorrow. And maybe I'm being premature. Maybe all of a sudden at 12 o'clock the cameras will pan in on Wilfried Nancy, but I'd be surprised if he wasn't there, because the Celtic play Dundee midweek. You've got to hit the ground running. A Dundee team who can't score goals, can't accumulate points, are in danger of relegation. At home, that has to be a grandstand show from Celtic. I'm surprised he's not there, if he's not there, to see the players that he'll be managing on Wednesday, David.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Hugh, because he's clearly going to be the manager, and you would imagine he wants to get his work done, his research done as quickly as possible. I mean, I'm assuming he is watching from afar somewhere. Maybe Celtic just don't want to take the focus off what's going on just now in terms of Martin O'Neill's last game. I'm sure he will be watching from somewhere, whether he's in Scotland or not. You know, he's going to start working Monday, so I would imagine he will be in the country over the next little while. But yeah, look, they might shock everybody and they might be in the Easter Road stand, but as things stand, I don't think that'll be the case.
David, is there a reason that it took so long to finalise? Because we've heard Wilfred Nancy's name for a couple of weeks now. You know, he's been the only real standout candidate that Celtic have been heavily linked to, and it seems they've been focused on it. Has it been about getting his backroom staff? Because Martin O'Neill himself said, I spoke to him a few times recently, he said that he thought it would be done in the international break. Was there a specific reason why it's taken so long?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's been all manner of theories around it, Gabs. Look, he is coming out a full season. You know, the MLS season runs almost a calendar year, so he has been full pelt for the last 11 months, so maybe he wanted a bit of a break. I think Celtic were also pretty wary of throwing him right in at the deep end with the away games they had last week, especially when things were going pretty well under Martin O'Neill. And then you also need to finalise contracts and get everything sorted, especially work permits and stuff like that. As I say, there's all manner of theories. There's even a theory that the compensation dropped at a certain time. I don't know the full reasons. All I know is that Wilfred Nancy is expected to be the Celtic manager over the weekend and should be in charge for the Dundee game on Wednesday. Again, David, I'm surprised they didn't want to throw him into the deep end. There is no shallow end in the Premiership, and there is no shallow end in the city of Glasgow. And the games that he has to face, Dundee, Hearts at Celtic Park, Cup final against St Mirren, Aberdeen at Celtic Park, and then you know who versus you know who on the first week of the new year. There is no shallow end, so he's going to have to get used to that relentless pressure on him. And that, again, that's why I'm surprised it's taken so long, and I'm surprised that if he's not at Easter Road, then he should have been. Yeah, I know what you mean, Hugh, but in terms of the shallow end, as you say, the schedule is relentless. You know, you look at December, you look at January, February will be pretty much the same. There isn't really a break now for Celtic until then, next international break, and what will that be, mid-March? So yeah, look, he's going to be thrown into the deep end regardless of what the timing is, but that's what I mean in terms of just having that local knowledge next to him. I think it's really important. I know sometimes fans, you know, think that a kind of local coach, a Celtic coach, has been foisted upon new managers, and what happened maybe with Ronnie Dyler back in the day, but I think it's going to be really important, because although Wilfred Nancy and Kwame Ampadu, I'm sure have been doing their research, I'm sure they've been trying to get up to speed with Scottish football, they need someone beside them who can just point them in the right direction. I do wonder who that's going to be.
Yeah, let's just park that Nancy chat just for a moment. We'll have plenty more time to discuss it when the game's on, but we'll quickly look back at Rangers' game on Thursday. What do we make of it? Gorgon Dalziel, I mean, it's an improvement. It was their best performance, and it was their first point on the board in Europa League. But is that not a game they should be winning against 10 men?
I'd be a bit disappointed. I said on Thursday night when I seen the team coming in that Rangers would have to score at least 2 or 3 to win the game. Right, for me just now, when I look at the two centre backs, you've got the opposition have got a goal. They certainly have. There's mistakes there. It's too easy. You watch Livingston at the weekend, one ball over the top. puts the Livingston striker in, gets a goal. It's schoolboy stuff for me. I think he needs to address that very quickly. I thought they played at a good pace. I thought they looked good at times. But I think when you analyse it over the piece, you've got to be disappointed. You've got a great opportunity for your first 3 points on the board. You're leading 1-0. They're down to 10 men. That's when you've really got to go and stamp your authority. I don't think Rangers are at that height just now. I think you've got to wait to January. I think this manager needs a window, and he needs it quickly, because there's a lot of players in there that will need to move on for me.
Europe's a write-off. And
is this for real this time? This is
officially. They get 1 point from 15.
Wait till next week.
They get 1 point from 15. Danny Rose had 3 European matches since becoming head coach, manager, whatever he is, and he's got 1 point from 9. So Europe's the least of his worries. He needs to get a team that can do it domestically. And as Daz said, the January window important to him, and I think there's a quiet, ruthless streak about this guy. He's seen Thelwell off the premises, and he will have a big say in what goes on in January. And he's clearly told Andrew Kavanagh and 49ers Enterprises that the squad is seriously deficient, and that will be, he hopes, rectified in January.
And Cammy, you of course played for the club. Hugh's talking about the squad there. Just on Thursday, who stood out for you in, who was a positive performer, who was at fault? I mean, obviously we talk about Jigger for the goal, but who are you looking at there in that game?
Yeah, listen, I was impressed by Connor Barron. I thought he brought a real energy to it. He used the ball really well. He was about the pitch. He looked as if he was demanding the ball. So I was really impressed by Connor. I thought he came in, he showed a real maturity about his performance. But listen, you look throughout the Rangers team on Thursday night, and I was disappointed with a lot of them, to be honest. De Jager, the goal's an absolute shambles for me. I just don't understand what happened. There's a bit of confusion before it between Butland and Fernandes. It leads to the throw-in, and then De Jager makes that mess of a header, which is unforgivable at that level. And then I wasn't that impressed by Braga, so I think it was a massive opportunity missed. And again, you look at the front line for me. Shamiti doesn't do enough.
Did you see anything from Shamiti?
No, not enough. Absolutely not enough. For me, he's not even a starting Rangers player at this moment in time. He's not showing the qualities. He doesn't hold the ball up well. He doesn't anticipate. There was a ball that came into the back post. Again, he's standing waiting for it to happen. You've got to anticipate as a header. I think he tried to take a touch at that moment. You don't get that time. You've got to get your shot away, anticipate the ball coming in. And I've seen it 2 or 3 times since he's played, and he just doesn't look up to the quality at this moment in time for what Rangers are looking for.
The problem is, Cammy, sorry, I highlighted the defence, right? But if you're going to win games, we all know you need to score goals. You've got 3 centre forwards with Rangers just now, and if you think how many goals they got between the 3 of them, Chermiti has got 1 or something, Danilo 1, and then Majowski, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of investment to score goals. So James Tavernier's got more goals than takes apparently than what the 3 centre forwards have got. So it's look, I think they're going the right direction under this new manager domestically, because I love the fact he's just thought to himself, I'm going to win games and I'll build from there. Brilliant. But going forward, this needs an overturn for me.
Yeah, there was a really interesting photo. I don't know if any of you boys saw it, but it was the squads from the previous games against Braga. Going into Thursday night, Rangers had won 3 of their 4 matches. I think it was in 2019, 2022, and then last night. And the cost of the starting 11 in both teams, I think it was about 10 million, 12 million, and this team was worth a lot more than those other 2 teams that got better results. But listen, we're going to have to move on. We'll get back to that in a moment, but we're going to build up more to the 3 o'clock kickoffs after this.
The fastest goals, the experts' opinions. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon, you're listening to Clyde One Super Scoreboard. We are about 15 minutes away from kick-off in today's 3 o'clock matches. We've been looking back at Celtic and Rangers European results on Thursday night and the impending announcement of Wilfred Nancy as Celtic's next manager. We'll build up to both of those games, which are of course tomorrow, and we'll build up later on. But at the moment, it's a time to build up to the 3 o'clock matches. Let's hear from some of the managers. We'll start at Fir Park with Jens Bertel Askew.
You see even the best teams in the world, they struggle winning every game. So I'm not surprised that Hearts eventually lost a football game. It will happen to anyone, and I don't think it will ruin their confidence or their feel of flow or the way they approach the game. I really don't. I think they are extremely excited to come here and show that they can deal with our play better than they did from the beginning last time, and really make it a challenging game for us to play.
And Derek McInnes takes his league leaders to Lanarkshire. Of course, he takes a massive crowd with him as well. Let's hear from McInnes.
It's magic that they'll be ready for it. We need to make sure we're ready for it, and we will be. That's like, I think the supporters are enjoying what they're seeing. It was tough for the fans who travelled on Sunday, and you always want to reward them with a positive result. They, like everybody else, will be hearing what everybody's saying, that this is a downturn in Hearts, all the rest of it. We still have so much optimism about the season ahead, and I'm sure the fans are. The fact that 4,800 turning up, I think we've sold out at Falkirk already, we've sold out at Celtic Park already. It shows you that the buy-in for the supporters, they believe in the team as the way I do, and hopefully we can reward them with a result on Saturday.
What a game we've got, Fraser Wishart. Who do you think it's a bigger match for, and why? Because the narratives on both sides are so big.
Yeah, I think it's probably a bigger game for Hearts. Hughes half-jokingly called them the champions-elect, but that was the first real setback of the season that Derek was talking about. And he sounded very positive, I have to say, in his interview, and why shouldn't he be? Because they've been brilliant all season. Yeah, there are a couple of not-so-good results in recent weeks, but if they are to have any title aspirations, any team that's at the top of the table wants to win the title, they've got to recover quickly from that kind of setback. So it's a real test of their title qualifications, if you like, because they really are a team who have been outstanding all season. But Celtic are beginning to find their form. They're closing the gap on Hearts, new manager coming in. So I think a win today is really important for Hearts. But for Motherwell, just watching them warm up, there's a positivity to it. They do an unusual session when they're warming up where they line up in their actual positions and they start moving the ball around quickly, and it's almost like playing shadow against there's nobody marking them, but they move it quickly, and they're obviously working, getting into these wide areas. So they're certainly up for it as well. They look very, very, very sharp. So it all just points to a really exciting 90 minutes ahead. I was at the game in August, 3-3 at Tynecastle. Motherwell were 3-0 up after 60 minutes, played Hearts off the park. Hearts somehow dragged themselves back into the game and actually should have won the game. So if it's anything like that, then the big crowd here today are in for an absolute joyous game.
What a game that was, Fraser. We'd love to have 6 goals there this afternoon. You usually get the 0-0s as well, so you've got the long straw today. Talk to us about the atmosphere, because it sounds great there. We know about the home crowd and the visiting crowd. What's it like inside Fir Park?
Okay, it's great. I mean, that's Hearts do. They bring a big support, but it's bigger than even normal now. Just you can look at the stand. I went down just during the break there to see, and it's absolutely jam-packed. It's like the Old Firm coming when they sell out the away end, and that's just because the Hearts are playing so well and they're exciting their fans. It's not just about winning games; they're scoring plenty of goals. I think it's 29 in the 13 games, so they're scoring more than 2 goals a game, which means the opposition have obviously got to score goals as well to get anything from it. So that's the hope, is that it's going to be an exciting game. I think there's just a feeling of anticipation around this whole thing, really great expectations pre-match. I just hope it's an exciting 90 minutes, but I think whatever happens we'll be in for a good game. Sometimes everybody's looking forward to it so much, and then it's a bit of a damp squib. I just don't get a feeling of that today. Talking to supporters outside as well, everybody's excited about this 90 minutes, this game ahead.
Brilliant, cannot wait for that one. Right, let's go to the other Premiership fixture, Dens Park. Dave Galloway, you're there. Dave, what's the atmosphere like at Dens Park? Do you sense that supporters are glum and are just trying to avoid the drop? Are they fearing for the worst of the Championship, or is there a belief that today can kickstart their survival bid?
Let me start with the atmosphere, Gabriel. As you can probably hear, the music is very loud. That's about the only atmosphere that we have in this stadium. at the moment. Stephen Presley, he sees this as a chance for Dundee to start moving things in the right direction. He remains upbeat, but as we all know, he wasn't exactly a popular appointment, and the continuous grumbles from the Dens Park faithful, they will go up a good few notches if Dundee slip up again today. Stephen Robinson, he's been very pleased with St Mirren's recent performances, if not the results. He's after more ruthlessness from his side. They have been getting a good number of shots at goal, a good number of shots on target. They've just not managed to apply that finishing touch, and will that change today? It's all really exciting down at the bottom. Just 2 points separate the bottom four in this league. It's very tight indeed. Plenty resting on the outcome of this game. But how will Dundee and St Mirren handle the pressure?
Yeah, we'll find out very shortly. And just quickly, Scottish Cup, Airdrie against Hamilton. David Friel, how's it going there?
Yeah, it's actually a decent away crowd from Hamilton Accies here in the usual Airdrie contingent as well. As I said, it's a derby, local rivalry here, and I'm expecting a good game. I don't know if it would be a shock, Gabs, if Accies were to win here today. As I said, they've got a lot of firepower, they score a lot of goals. Airdrie have trouble scoring. If you look at the league table, I think they've only got 13 goals all season. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I fancy Accies actually to get the win, but I'm just waiting with bated breath to find out what Gordon Dalziel's big Scottish Cup shock's going to be.
You will have to wait until after the break. We will do all the predictions and kick-off next.
Action as it happens, and your reaction from 5 on the open line. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard. We are just moments away from the 3 o'clock kickoffs, 2 Premiership matches and many more in the Scottish Cup third round. In the studio with me, Gordon Dalziel, Cammy Bell and Hugh Keevins. It could be a significant day in the title race, Hugh.
I heard you use the word narrative. I'll have words with you about that later. But the narrative is either Hearts' reputation is enhanced, or Jens Berto Askew, who for me is becoming a story in himself, he gets Motherwell up from 4th to 3rd, which is quite something. So I can't split them. I think it'll end up as a draw. I think St Mirren will win in Dundee, because Dundee can't score goals, therefore cannot win football matches. And Hamilton Accies, I agree with David Friel, fancy them strongly, and the best thing that could happen to them would be then to go into the 4th round draw, get Celtic or Rangers away and pay a few bills.
Yeah, right, Hugh, you've already given us our prediction. We're actually going to do that after 3 o'clock, so you two can hold on. We know what Hugh's doing, but Cammy, just on that game, all eyes are on Fir Park. Motherwell, if they win, they go up to 3rd, as Hugh says. Is that realistic? Can Motherwell finish 3rd in this Premiership? Can they finish higher?
Listen, the way they're going, in the football they're playing, the confidence they're playing with, a big result midweek against Hibs. I know there was a factor in it that Grant Hanley gets sent off, and that plays a factor in the game, but Motherwell absolutely dominated that and deserved to win. So listen, they're in a good position. There's been a lot of teams this season that haven't started the season well. I think they're growing in confidence. And yeah, listen, they've got to try and believe they can finish in 3rd this season. It would be a massive achievement, but we'll wait and see.
Well, it's that time of the week. Here we go.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
We are underway in the 3 o'clock matches, 2 in the Premiership and many more in the Scottish Cup. Hugh, just run us through those predictions again then.
I cannot split Motherwell and Hearts. It's a draw at Fir Park. It's an away win for St Mirren at Dundee, and an away win in the Lanarkshire derby for the Accies against Airdrie.
I am totally surprised there, Hugh. I thought you'd change your mind like you normally do. Give it another 5 minutes. Ask him.
I didn't get to where I am today.
Here we go.
Amazing.
Go on, Cammy, I'll get a second go.
Okay, I'll go. Draw, Motherwell Hearts. I'm going to go draw, Dundee, St Mirren, and an away win for Hamilton at Airdrie.
Okay, you're not going to sit on the fence in the big game as well, are you? You can't have 3 people sitting on the fence.
I'm going Hearts.
Hearts?
Oh, yeah. Are you going for it?
I think the Shankly and Braga partnership will cause Motherwell problems this afternoon. Big crowd there. A great game. I think there'll be plenty of goals for Fraser. Here's my surprise one. Dundee beat St Mirren.
Dundee?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Why are you taking Dundee?
Because I think Dundee's one of those teams that you can't second guess. You see Celtic going up there, they beat Celtic. They've had a few good games up at Dens Park. I know what Hugh's saying about not scoring goals, but you're playing against a team, St Mirren, that aren't winning games either. So I'm just going to go for home advantage. And Airdrie are a stick on to beat Hamilton this afternoon. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
Guaranteed.
Love
there
that.
You go. 3 bold predictions, and all eyes are going to be on that massive game at Fir Park. High-flying Motherwell against top of the table Hearts. But let's turn our attention to the Scottish Cup briefly. We've got 2 of you on Accies, 1 of you on Airdrie. What is your shock of the day, Gordon Dalziel?
Oh, it's quite simple for me. I'm going to go for Ayr United to win at home. No, I'm not kidding. Gabs,
You had me there.
You're new to the job, son. You're new to the job. Read the room. Read the room. Here's one for you, right? Because I think everybody will be thinking Wraith Rovers under a new manager. I fancy Alloa for a shock.
Yeah. We'll take that. Cammy?
Listen, you know, I'm not going to say this is going to happen, but I think what could be a sticky game is Banks of Dee versus Ross County.
Cammy, you're stealing my team. That's my team.
Is it?
Yeah, my mates play for them.
Right, listen, because I look at Ross County's form, everyone expected Tony Docherty comes in the... Oh, no.
Just say Tony.
Put my teeth back in. Tony Docherty comes in, again brings Callum Davison up, a hugely experienced backroom staff, excellent playing staff as well. It's not worked out for them in the Championship, and just their form at the moment will probably make them a little bit nervous. You know, there's these cup shocks that can happen, so I'm not sure it will happen, but I just look at that one and think it's intriguing.
Taking the mighty Banks of Dee. Shout out Mark Gilmore, one of our best mates playing midfield today for them.
Boy.
And Hugh, where is the shock coming?
I make no bones about it. We moved here 55 years ago, my wife and I, to Clydebank, and Clydebank Football Club became a big part of our lives. Their Lowland League, Stranraer or SPFL, I hope the Bankies go to Stranraer today, win, get in the 4th round, and get Celtic or Rangers there.
The Bankies for Hugh, and please don't blame us if you lose. It is not the curse of Hugh Keevins, we promise you. Right, what an afternoon we have. Motherwell against Hearts, Dundee against St Mirren, Airdrie against Hamilton, Accies, a Lanarkshire battle there, the pick of the Scottish Cup fixtures, and plenty of shocks could be on the card. It's the last round before all of the big boys come in, so we're going to keep an eye on that and keep all of you at home listening up to date with the latest. We've already got Montrose 1-0 up at Benburb. That would have been a big shock, eh? Benburb, imagine them being Montrose. What are Benburb? Lowland League?
No idea. I'll tell you
lower than that.
Yeah, they're not in the Lowland League.
They are from the 7th tier of Scottish football, and they have, of course, in their corner Sir Alex, because the Bens, or as they like to be known, the Chooky Hens, are from Govan, and Sir Alex has been paying their way throughout this competition.
It was Wick, was it not, that they played in the last round, and Sir Alex paid for their overnight stay, which is a great story.
Do you know Benburb used to be the club that if you were a young lad at Rangers and you weren't quite that good enough at your 16, 17, just full time for a first year, you would go out there to get a taste of the junior game, to toughen you up a little bit, let's say. Right?
You must have spent ages there then, did you?
No, mate, I never get put out.
No,
that was special. I had the feather cut, shorts up to the backside, away I went. He's a Celtic Rangers game anytime.
Is Andy Halliday's brother still playing for the Bens?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Andy Halliday's brother.
They're 2-0 down now.
What?
Yep.
Oh, it's not a good start, is it? Aidan Quinn, 5 minutes, 2-0 up.
Shermity apparently is going there next year.
Gordon DL, you behave yourself. Right, we've already had a first chance at Fir Park. Harry Milne, back post header, looped on to the top of the net. So the visitors with the first foray forward there in today's big game. Hugh Keevins, shall we do this?
Yes.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Can you tell me the last 6 players to have worn the number 9 jersey for Rangers since season 2018, 2019? Tell me the last 6 players to have worn the number 9 jersey for Rangers since season 2018-2019.
Right, get your answers in to us at Clyde SSB on Twitter or X, whatever you're calling it these days. It is a race. There'll be a podium for the fastest finishers. So just once more, since the 2018-19 season, can you name the last 6 players that have worn the number 9 for Rangers? Gordon DL, are you still cheating on these? I haven't been keeping. I've been working a lot Sundays, so are you still cheating?
No, I never cheat. Never, unless it's a Saturday night now. No, I'm not. He's number 4 now, wasn't it? That Colin? No, I'm not cheating. Hugh will verify that I tried to cheat when I come in there. I wee look over his shoulder.
Of course he did.
Hugh, knowing Hugh was a bit clever and just shut the page.
Good man, Hugh. Good man. Oh, and an athletic.
There
One
we go.
as well. Cammy Bell.
Big Tommy Muir firing. They need that as well. Again, for all these lower teams, it's so important today because of finances that can come their way. Hugh mentioned the draw and what you can get in the next round. Annan had Rangers a few years ago at Galabank, and the finances that it brings in, it makes a massive difference to these clubs.
I mean, you're talking about money in the 4th round. Remember Bucky Thistle came to play Celtic? The money they took from that kept them going for 5 years.
Incredible.
So that's the dream. Get Celtic or Rangers away.
See the Scottish Cup. The Scottish Cup is brilliant because there's nothing better. A player or a manager been in waiting for the next round for a draw. It's exciting, isn't it? It's brilliant. And a Scottish Cup was never good to me. I played in 2 finals. Lost both of them to Alex Ferguson. You're talking their great Aberdeen team. Nothing to do with me. I was excellent on the day, but they were just too good for us.
What's the best away trip, or worse, whichever way you look at it, in terms of the Scottish Cup? Have you ever been to a Bucky Thistle or a Benbow
I've been to, is it Devondale?
Devondale?
Yeah,
Devondale, as a player or a gaffer?
As a gaffer, and I was under a little bit of pressure at the time. I remember, this is true, I remember getting up there and I'm thinking, oh my God. So what I did was I took the players down the Friday so that they could get used to, have a look at the conditions, the pitch, the dressing room, so that they didn't turn up on the Saturday and all of a sudden they're going, oh, what about this place? Right, so they knew. I went out and I watched their warm-up, and I walked in and I says to my staff, we're in the next round. You should have seen these guys, honest to God.
What was the score?
Beat them 6-0 or something.
All right.
Really?
What you got to say you got beat?
Honestly, you should have seen them. Half of them had just been out the Horse and Anchor about 3 hours prior. And they were absolutely all over the place.
Dunfermline won, Queen of the South won, Chris Kane, they get an equaliser. Already 2 goals in that game, just 7 minutes in. Excuse me. A few tackles flying in, says David Friel. At Airdrie against Hamilton. No love lost there. What about you, Cammy? What would be your Scottish Cup memories come to mind?
I actually don't know. I was thinking about that when you asked us there. I've not really been on any long. I remember playing Ross County. Again, it's not too far. When I was at Dundee United, but I can't recall any sort of lower league stuff.
What was your highlight of your Scottish Cup? Did you? Was it League Cup you won?
League Cup we won.
Yeah. Scottish Cup.
Scottish Cup. We got quarter-finals, I think. Was as far as I got.
My highlight was as a manager semi-final against Rangers at Hampden, full house.
Full house?
Full house, mate. I took my players away for 2 days to Lamanga, sunshine, everything, prepare for it. I told them we were going to attack them. I went 4-2-4 against Dick Advocaat's team. We lost 7-0. But let me tell you, we had a nice suntan.
Did you? I can imagine.
I'd love to have played for you, Dad.
Mate, I was brilliant to play for. That's why I was so successful.
Yeah?
Well, have a look at my CV. Cup finals, semi-finals.
I still can't believe that your mate is at Firhill every week, every Saturday, and he's flying high. And he's what are you not doing down there as an assistant with the track?
Well, look, there was a long chat about that, but me going to Partick just wasn't a good fit, was it? So he's doing particularly well. Him and Alec they're flying.
They are. They're absolutely flying.
They're up at Forfar today in the cup. Jim Weir.
A tough one, it's just
that's
a
banana
sticky
skin,
one,
isn't it?
They've got to be one of the worst dressing rooms in Scottish football.
For dressing rooms?
Oh, mate, you give them 2 at a time. Noah's Ark, it's cold up there. 2 at a time.
tight, innit? Tight.
Yeah. See if you have a lot of people in a pre-match, that's a problem in that dressing room.
To be fair to Mark Wilson, I know he has to take it here on a weekly basis. He and Brian Graham had joint control, and then Brian Graham didn't get the job, and Mark came at a time when all was not well at the club, really not well. And he brought in Alec, and the first thing Mark did was distance himself from this programme. And I told him at the time, this is
him over there.
This is the right thing to do, because don't give fans a chance to say he's too preoccupied with the radio and Gordon Dalziel and that.
Have a look at how far the radios went. We're through the roof now.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
But he's stuck in, won the same number of games as St Johnstone, drawn the same number of games as St Johnstone, lost the same number of games as St Johnstone. It's about scoring goals now. And he and Alex make a really good team, and he's put his heart and soul into this job, and I hope they win in Forfar, and I hope they go on and get promotion. But he has turned Thistle around from low expectations.
It's been an incredible journey for him, and what I would say about today will be important for him, because again, he's in such a good run. He a feel-good factor around about the club, and then you go up to Forfar, and it's a difficult tie. You don't want it to just derail you or bring any negativity towards it, so I think he'll treat this game as a really important one to go up there, get in the next round of the hat and try and move forward, because it's been an incredible season for them so far, and hopefully he can keep it up.
Yes, Station Park. No station near it though, incidentally. Up,
why is it called Station Park then?
There's a story, I can't remember it a bit. I think there's a stat where they are actually the SPFL club that is furthest away from a train station.
So that's right.
And it's called Station Park. It's something like that,
Makes
but that's
sense.
up my neck of the woods.
Is there a thing called Forfar Brady's, but no Brady's? There you go.
Right, you've had enough. Right, where are we in the Premiership matches? 0-0 in both games, Dundee, St Mirren and Motherwell Hearts. St Mirren on top, getting the ball into Dundee's box, but not managing to do much. Dundee not threatening at all yet. Hearts wearing their white strip on the road at Fir Park. What an atmosphere that looks like. And of course, we've got a few results, a few scores starting to come in those games in the Scottish Cup. So many. Looks like Spartans just gone 2-0 up at Bonnyrigg Rose as well. Forfar Stadium, Station Park, is called that because it was built on the former site of the town's railway station after the station closed to passengers. So it used to have a station.
Yeah, but
where the park is now.
Makes sense, then.
Does make sense, but there is no station at Station Park.
Okay
then.
Listen, what can a cup run do for you as a championship or lower league player and a manager? If we're in Mark's shoes, what can it do for you, Cammy? You get a run into the last 16 quarterfinals. What does it do for your league form?
I think what it does, certainly from a Partick Thistle and Mark's point of view, is it takes the pressure off. You're in a tough championship battle at the top of the table, so these games, if they get another fixture that they potentially can win in the next round, or a glamour tie, they allow the players to go out and express themselves. There's not that pressure they get every single week, so it just allows the players to enjoy a game. And I know they'll be enjoying the championships games at the moment, but what there is that pressure that they need to keep winning, because St Johnstone are on good form as well. So I think it just brings a real feel good factor around the club. They'll be probably looking for a big tie and to go as far as they can go, but again, they've had the likes of Celtic they played recently in the League Cup, wasn't it? So they've had that little experience, and they'll probably want more of that.
Can you imagine Mark Wilson up against Wilfried Nancy in the next round, or Mark Wilson up against Danny Rule? How much fun would we have with that on this programme?
It would be amazing. I find it strange when I have to go and interview him, be it over Zoom or down at the stadium after.
Did you call him Gaffer?
I have to put the serious face on, he puts his serious face on as well and goes, it's one game at a time, 3 points.
He has become a bit of a bore.
He
phoned me, and I think the call lasted about 2 minutes. I just hung up. He used to be a fun boy, but no.
That's what football management does to you, eh? Dunfermline 2, Queen of the South 1, Chris Kane with the goal there. Claudio Braga song, our favourite on this show, being shouted very loudly out of the away stand at Fir Park. Motherwell on top of it, most of the ball as expected. Hearts looks like they're happy to sit back. Perhaps that is the game plan from Derek McInnes. Hugh, from a journalist point of view, what's the worst Scottish Cup game you've covered in terms of from, if you've got no seats, you're getting rained on. It's not exactly Parkhead or Ibrox.
Went with Celtic to Peterhead. I'd never been in Peterhead in my life before, and I will never return.
Lovely place, Peterhead.
I think the pitch up there's.
It's great. It's good pitch.
By the way, they give you a good buffet after it for a team.
That's the best thing. Best in Scottish football.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. Incredible.
Best buffet in Scottish football.
As soon as you're finished to get up the stairs.
Brilliant.
Incredible. Loads.
Hugh, I take it you didn't get that, did you? The buffet?
No, but I could hear the uproarious laughter going on, and we were too busy getting post-match quotes and what have you. But I thought, there's some laughter here. And I opened the door, and the late great Bertie Auld was there, giving them all the stories and telling the stuff and having a wee glass of wine. And the people of Peterhead were adoring Bertie. But my favourite story, I went to do a charity function with Peter Grant, late of Celtic Park. And I said, come on back to the house for a cup of tea before you go home. And my wife said to me, who's that boy? I said, it's Peter Grant. She said, who is Peter Grant? I said, he plays for Celtic. I said, he's left something metallic on the coffee table. I said, Janet, that's the Scottish Cup.
The Scottish Cup?
Yeah, we took the Scottish Cup to the charity function, and he brought it back to the house. I had to take it out the car in case.
Yeah.
And my wife described it as, he's left something metallic on the coffee table. I said, it's the Scottish Cup.
She only described it as something metallic.
Yeah.
And apparently it's still there to this day.
That's where it went missing. Kelly Hart's 1-0 up on Brecon City. Innes Murray with the goal in the 16th minute. Lee Kildare is down for the Ackies, which would of course be a blow as well. Just checking our Twitter feed, lots of correct answers coming in for that first half teaser, where we're wanting to know the last 6 players to have worn the number 9 for Rangers. So keep
since season 2018,
since 2018, 2019.
7 years.
There's a few mistakes in there though. So I'm not sure if we've got a podium.
That's what happens, Gordon.
Oh, don't try and bait me in. Come on.
No, it gives a couple of mistakes.
Oh, a couple of mistakes. I thought you were trying to get the right answers.
No.
Show me up what have you got so far?
No.
Have you written any?
We're fine.
He has.
But what Gordon normally does, and you obviously want to take his job, you need to be up to it. You need to be up to it and beat him. Start giving us wrong answers.
I will, but my team have just gone 1-0 down.
I know.
1-0 down, Ross Kenny. Ronan Hale. Listen, he knows where the back of net is, doesn't he, Ronan Hale?
Yeah.
That's a blow for the boys in Aberdeen. 1-0 down already. Right, I'm going to have a look at these. I'll tell you where my worst Scottish Cup was. It was only a few years ago. I was at Dumbarton, maybe in one of Clement's first games, Rangers away. And it was that, the fourth round where it's mid-January, so it couldn't be worse. And for some reason, it was a nighttime kickoff. It was 7:45 on a Saturday night. I think maybe 5:45, 7:45, and it was raining sideways. The pitch was awful. There's no media facilities, so I had to have my little radio kit on here coming in. There was no Wi-Fi, nothing, and it was freezing cold. No pies at half time. That's always the worst.
That's the only stadium I get locked in for Super Scoreboard. Remember that?
Yeah, you told me.
You got what?
I got locked in, mate.
Locked in?
I got locked in. I was the only person. I was doing Dumbarton. I think we were playing the Cup or something. Jim Duffy was the manager, and everybody left, and I was still on the open line.
Yeah.
And it got to about 5:45, and the lights went out, and it was pitch black, and I was the only person there. And I'm saying, I'm locked in. I went to the door. Everything was locked. We had to phone Jim Duffy to come back.
Amazing.
It's too good.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
What time did you get out in the end?
Oh, I eventually got out about 7:30 the next morning.
I did a programme.
The pitch was waterlogged.
Did a programme here in the studio. Clyde 2, Celtic 0.
Yeah.
Roy Keane playing for Celtic.
The infamous game.
And the calls after that game were legendary, and we had to be very, very careful. The referee was, let's say, being accused of various things, and we're getting perilously close to litigation, so we had to be very, very careful. But there was absolute living proof that anything can happen. Clyde to Celtic. It was either Celtic 1 or Celtic 0, but Roy Keane playing for Celtic.
Yeah, it beggars belief, that result, when you look back at it now. Right, a few wrong answers. A few people saying Kenny Miller.
No.
is incorrect, because you've got to remember the year since 2018-19. Kenny Miller, unfortunately, was not playing for Rangers then. Still 0-0 in our 2 Premiership matches. Thought we might have had a goal by now. I think we did in the reverse fixture, Motherwell Hearts 3-3 back in August. I think Motherwell still having the majority of the ball, but the tempo of the game just dropped a little bit there. And goals still coming in the Scottish Cup third round. Stenhousemuir 3-0 up on Clachnacudden. And there we go. Deadlock broken.
There we go.
4-0. Partick Thistle 1. Ben Stanway.
Yeah.
You happy for you, mate?
Delighted.
Yeah?
Absolutely delighted for him. Can't wait to get us a big job. Then I'll put in the one, remember who gave you your first opportunity.
So if he does get a bigger job after all this success, we don't want him to leave Partick Thistle, but if he goes on and wins the Scottish Cup and he goes to a team that aren't Partick Thistle, is that when you come calling?
That's when I come
because
in.
you've not offended all their fans?
No. Well,
you might have done, actually.
Yeah, wait to see what club it is, but I'll be on the staff then somewhere. Don't care what goalkeeping coach, don't care strikers coach, anything at all.
Cammy, what would he be like as a keeper's coach? What do you reckon?
Set play coach, mate.
I think he'd be a great laugh, to be fair. I think he'd be very, very good. I don't think there'd be much work get done, but
I can't imagine.
I think you got your gloves with you for the day. We're not doing much.
And that is Thistle 1-0 up at Station Park, where there is no station. We'll have a look at some of the other scores around us. Stenhousemuir 3-0 up, putting that away. They'll be done by half-time, you'd think, at this rate. In the Premiership, no goals. That's surprising, Hugh. Do you think that then the game might have had a bit more?
Well, you're talking about Dundee St Mirren. We are approaching now the 6-hour mark for Dundee not having scored a goal. We're 2 or 3 minutes away from 6 hours without a goal. Little surprised. St Mirren always look a goal threat. I mean, against Celtic last Saturday, numerous goal threats, but
you say that, Hugh, though, 8 goals have scored this season.
Yeah.
And again, Dundee 9. So you look at the stats, are saying that it's going to be probably a very tight affair, maybe 1 goal in that game. Hopefully not. Hopefully we've got stuff to talk about. But again, it just looks that way from the start, that there's not going to be a lot in it.
I'm not entirely surprised by the Motherwell Hearts scenario here. We're 0-0 and 25 minutes in, because they are very talented.
We've got one of these in the big game.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
And it goes to Motherwell 1-0 at Fir Park. They are leading against the leaders. Callum Hendry stretched to get his foot to an Elliot Watt cross from deep, but we are going to have a little VAR check for offside. What a huge goal that would be, Gordon.
Oh, it'd be absolutely massive. And I think a lot of people looking at that fixture today probably quietly fancied Motherwell, especially the football they're playing. I said it earlier, Gabs, the one thing I love about this manager, he changes for every single game. He just doesn't stick with the same team. 5 changes, 4 changes. He looks at the opposition, the best way to play against them. He changes his formation. He's not frightened to change things. It'll be interesting to see if that goal stands.
Yeah, a great ball in from Elliot Watt. He's been such a brilliant signing for them since the summer. And it looks... Does he definitely get a nick on it, Cammy?
Yeah, listen, again, whether he gets a nick on it or not, again, I think Callum Hendry, what he brings is real energy. He brings a physicality at the top end of the pitch. I played him at St Johnstone, and he's a great lad as well, so it'll be interesting to see if this is given. But yes, listen, you talk about Watt. I think he's been really, really good. A brilliant signing for Motherwell, and it'll be interesting because this is a big moment in the game.
I listened to the show last night again, and the lad Hugh from Lanark, the Motherwell supporter, he came on at the beginning of the season and Big Marv was laughing at him, which Big Marv does, because he quoted that Motherwell have got the best midfield in the Premier League.
I love the midfield. I think it's really good.
Offside, no goal. Be interesting to see that back. It looked quite tight according to Fraser Wishart, but offside is given. We remain at 0-0 in the battle at the top.
The entire season has been characterised by VAR getting in the way and not always getting in the way correctly. This morning we had the story of the key match incident panel, and I know they have no powers, but they have said that yes, Livingston should have had a penalty at Ibrox last weekend. Davy Martindale justifiably outraged by what happened there. VAR, we'll have another look at that later on at the would-be Motherwell goal, but VAR, I mean, Davy Martindale has quite clearly said the game would be better off without it, and I know that Stephen Robinson is in that camp as well.
Yeah.
And I think that in general terms, VAR is doing a lot of harm rather than good.
We'll have to wait and see with that one. So it remains 0-0. Motherwell Hearts, it's also 0-0. Dundee against St Mirren, but St Mirren are well on top there. St Johnstone at 1-0 up against Cove Rangers. Uche Ikpiatsu with the goal in the 24th minute. So the Championship leaders have the lead in the Scottish Cup as well. The boys in the studio here just trying to get all of the answers for the first half teaser. We've got a few people coming in. Have we got anyone with all of the correct answers yet? We will have a look on our Twitter, but keep them coming in. We are looking for Rangers' last 6 players to have worn the number 9, and it's since the 2018-19 season. You two got it over there, do you reckon?
Yeah, we've got a few.
How many you got?
One. No, we've got 6. We've got 6, mate.
I thought you'd get that. That's a Rangers number 9 is right up your street, you know?
Yeah, we've got a doubler because we went Danilo, so that's 2.
You'll get the gold prize. Right, make sure you tune in at the half and we will let you know who has won that. Right, we will keep going around the grounds and have a look at the scores, but it remains goalless in the Premiership. Once again, Callum Hendry thought he'd put Motherwell ahead, and they have had more of the ball, but it was ruled out for offside. A great ball in from Elliot Watt, but no goal. VAR once again the centre of attention. I was speaking to Stephen Robinson yesterday, as you were saying, Hugh, yesterday morning at press, and I think it's 4 goals they've had disallowed in the last month. 3 of them probably shouldn't have been.
Yeah. Now, you know, the penalty that should have been given to Livy, had they scored it.
And we've got one of these
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's in the other game. It is a goal for St Mirren. We're just talking about it, Hugh. And it is Mikel Mandron. A good strike in the bottom corner. Robertson, though, he's passed it straight to him. And they are not happy at Dens Park. We're talking, Cammy, about their goal-scoring struggles, but their number 9, Mikel Mandron, has got a goal here.
Yeah, listen, he's a real goal threat for me. We've seen him score a number of goals in the top flight, and that's a big goal for St Mirren. I really do. I think that puts them in a good position going into half-time. I think it'll give them confidence. They played well last weekend, just couldn't get the result. They absolutely deserved a draw against Celtic, but Celtic managed to get over the line. So this is a big game for them. As I said before, I think if they can get 3 points today and then look at that fixture that they've got ahead of the other 3 that are behind them, the game in hand, if they can get a result from that, takes them away from the bottom of the league. So it's a big game for both clubs.
So after 26 minutes it's 0-0, and Dundee have then gone 6 hours without a goal. After 27 minutes it's 1-0 St Mirren. So 6 hours, no goals, 6 hours and 1 minute, 1 down. It's just not happening for Stephen Presley.
That's a man who's done his research. Take note, you. Did you hear that?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. What was it you said?
Oh, honestly. Daz, in all seriousness, Stephen Presley, he had those good results early on this season with Rangers and Celtic, but it just seems like the fans aren't having him.
No, I don't think they were having them from day one, if I'm honest with you. And if you're not a fan's favourite like we've seen with Russell Martin at Ibrox, you've one thing you've got to do is win games.
Fans might be having him now.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
1-1. Kiss of death, as ever, from the commentators here. Yep. Fans might not be having him. And straight away, Jan Danda with the shot, and it is 1-1. Hugh, what stats have you got for us now? You're just doing the maths.
Well, there you are. They're back. They waited 6 barren hours, and then in the 7th hour, they've started to score goals. Jan Danda, I always liked as a player when he was at Hearts, but he's really done his manager a service there. And we'll see where they go from here.
Yeah, it's a great response again from Dundee. I agree. I like Jan Danda as a player. I thought he was really effective at Ross County. He got his move to Hearts. It didn't really happen for him. Obviously, that's a big goal because it's a big response. That negativity that I'm pretty sure they'll have heard around the stadium quickly gets squashed and they get back on level terms. And listen, they'll be feeling good about that goal.
This must be the most excited that Dave Galloway's felt since he read out the Noah team on Thursday.
No substitutes. What a moment in time that was. I think it's actually going to go down as an Alex Gogic own goal. Been such a stalwart for St Mirren for years now. Your mate, of course, Daz.
Yeah, I see him every day at the school. Lovely guy.
A pal of mine who supports Rangers was texting me on Thursday night saying he wished that Alex Gogic could be signed by Rangers because he is exactly what they lack in central defence.
I heard that from someone else this week. One of my mates who's a Rangers fan. Did he say he just singled out Alex Gogic? Why have we not got? I think it was after the goal they conceded on Thursday night. A few other goals in the Scottish Cup. 2-0 up on Turriff United, and Wraith Rovers 1, Alloa 0. Gorgon Dalziel, bad for worse for you. That was your upset prediction as well.
Well, I went for Dundee in their back level terms, so you're not giving me credit for that. Look, it's 1-0. 1-0 doesn't mean say you're in the next round of the Scottish Cup, my friend.
There is a long way to go, that's for sure. But in the Premiership, we were at Dundee 1, St Mirren 1, and 0-0 between Motherwell and Hearts in the big game of the day. Motherwell thought they'd gone 1-0 up. The VAR once again ruling it out, and plenty of goals in the Scottish Cup as well.
There's one there. Hugh, Stranraer 1 up, 1-0 up
against the Bankies.
That's all three of our predictions. Clydebank, Bankside and Alloa. The surprises, all losing.
The paper hankies will come back.
Yep.
Yes.
As Daz says, there is a long way to go. You don't get knocked out of the Scottish Cup after 45 minutes, do you?
In the name of Marty Pello, in the name of Kevin Bridges, the paper hankies shall return.
We'll see. We will certainly see. But Dundee 1-1 with St Mirren. That's such a huge game, Hugh. Let's talk about St Mirren for a moment. Cammy was saying when they went 1-0 up, they've got a couple of results. They've got games in hand on people they could push right up. They'll be looking for top 6 again. They've done it several years in a row, which is outstanding achievement for them. Do you think that, and this is what Stephen Robinson was saying yesterday, I'm asking if you agree with him, that they have been performance-wise right up there this season where they want to be, but it's just all about the points. They just haven't secured them. Do you think that's fair?
They're 2 points off the bottom. Therefore, something's not right. And as Cammy said, that they don't... That goal... They're 10th of the season, is that the one?
9th, I think, actually.
Just 9th in the league.
9th in the league.
Yeah,
it's not enough, is
good
it?
enough, no.
Especially when they play two up top.
Yep.
They do go for it. They get the ball forward, not necessarily in a negative way, but they get the ball forward to their strikers when they can.
Which has been so effective for them for the last few seasons. So there's nothing wrong with playing direct and getting the ball up in the opposition's half and creating chances, but they've just not been taking them this season, and that's what's hurting them.
They are an enigma. You know, they went to Celtic Park start of the season. They had a terrific day, and then lost at the death to a goal from Luke McKibben. They've drawn with Rangers in Paisley, part of the Russell Martin era. So they put a nail in his coffin that day. And against Celtic last weekend, they were very good, but again did not win. So if you're 2 points off the bottom of the league and you haven't reached double figures in terms of goals yet, then you have things that you need to work on.
Yep, certainly. Dundee nearly 2-1 up there. Wesley deflected shot just wide. In the Scottish Cup, pick of the games as well, Airdrie Hamilton. Airdrie with a great chance. Sean McGinty about 8 yards out, but it's saved. A typical centre-half finish, says David Friel, who is in attendance. It has gone down as an Alex Gogic own goal for Dundee, but the announcer gave it to Simon Murray. You not give any Gogic tips on not kicking it in his own net?
No, he's good enough for that. But I'm a great believer. I always give the striker a goal. Doesn't matter.
Even if it's not on target, you'd give a striker a goal, would you?
Yeah.
That's of course, you're just such a textbook striker, you.
Is that how you got so many goals?
Mate, mine was always on target. I didn't need people to put them in the back of the net for him. This 200 plus proves it.
Aye. Right, listen, we want more answers in for our first half teaser. We will get the answers out in about 5 minutes' time, but keep them coming in on Clyde SSB at Twitter or at X. And
it sounds as if Motherwell have kept Hearts pretty quiet. There's not been a
Hearts
great.
Don't look like they've had a chance. Really,
not a great amount of activity in the Motherwell box. So it sounds as if Shankland and Braga have been pretty quiet today.
They're playing with that much confidence, Motherwell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think Hearts would take a draw? Would Darren McInnes take a draw today?
I think that because of the recent results, you're sitting top of the league and you drop another 2 points, people start looking at your form and everything. Look, I think if he turned up there and he had won his last 2 games, it's certainly not a problem taking a point and going back down the road. But I think it's a big game for them.
I think they play, have they not got Kilmarnock at home on Wednesday night? I think that's their next fixture. Yeah, so I think, listen, when you look at that fixture, Kilmarnock are in a great place at this moment in time, so would a draw be a bad result, and then hopefully move on to that home game and get the 3 points? Ideally they want 3 points today, but I don't think it's a bad result, the form that Motherwell are in.
There's a complication coming further down the line, because Tawanda Maswanisi has scored 8 goals in the league this season. He's scored 12 in all competitions, but next month he's off to the Africa Cup of Nations to represent Zimbabwe. So I don't know to what extent, if any, that will affect Motherwell, but you'd rather have him with you than playing in a competition the other side of the world.
Yeah, you know, I'm actually going to the AFCON this year. I've got tickets to a game.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Yeah.
Right, going to Marrakesh for New Year with my family, mum, dad, brother, girlfriend, and it just happens on New Year's Eve, Gabon against Ivory Coast.
Oh, mate, classic.
I've got 6 tickets.
You're joking.
Guess how much it is for 1 ticket to that
I'd
game?
say about 10 bob.
6.
6 bob?
£6 for a ticket to the game in the AFCON. That's football
value
for the fans.
That's great value.
But how far do you need to travel to the ground?
Well, I've got to go to Marrakesh.
Oh, no, but when you're there, how far are you living in?
I think it's about a 20-minute taxi outside there.
That's excellent, mate.
Listen,
that's
AFCON,
dedication.
£6.
Mate, I wouldn't go if it was 4 quid.
To be fair, Ivory Coast against Gabon. Listen, it's 2 teams that I know players. Aubameyang still playing for Gabon. He scored 2 against Newcastle on Wednesday night. Right, let's have a look at how we're doing after 40 minutes. Motherwell with 63% of the ball against Hearts. Hugh, as you say, we're making all this about our Hearts title contenders. This is almost one of those games where if you're going to win the league, you probably need to win games like this. But at the end of this, if Hearts finish 3rd or even 2nd, people will still say it's been a positive season considering where they finished last year. So maybe a point here isn't the worst result?
No. What would it do? It'd take them 5 points ahead of Celtic. Celtic with a difficult game tomorrow at Easter Road. We've all had our fun, and it's been a great story. Jamestown Analytics, Tony Bloom, Hearts top of the league. Could they be the first non-Old Firm side for 40 years to win the title? It's a great ongoing story. They would far rather win at Motherwell today and put Celtic under real pressure tomorrow, but a draw, wouldn't be the worst thing to happen. But yeah, I get the feeling that Motherwell have dominated this game, and you pointed out the possession stats and what have you, and I think we're very unfortunate with the goal disallowed because of VAR. Talk about marginal, but it's good for our game that we're spending this amount of time talking about Motherwell versus Hearts.
Yeah. Oh, looks like
and also, as Fraser quite rightly said, the size of the crowd that's at Fir Park today.
Yeah.
The crowd, I think, was over 6,000 on a Tuesday night against Hibs. I'll be well over 6,000 today. Let's be honest with that. So it shows you that this new manager has brought back the fans. I know Hearts are taking a massive support there, and well done to them. But Motherwell supporters are coming back.
I think it was talked about potentially being a sellout today. So again, it'll be interesting to see what the crowd actually is.
Got one of these.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
They've turned it around. It is Dundee 2, St Mirren 1. A great strike by Trey. Right, you got your arms up in celebration. Gordon DL.
Only one that predicted Dundee.
Hey, you're the one that said a game's not won after 45
Still
minutes.
a long way to go.
Our game's over. I'm going with a shuggy prediction.
That is astonishing. As I say, they passed the 6-hour mark without scoring, and now in the 7th hour they're going mad.
2 goals for Dundee and St Mirren, and suddenly, Cammy, from what you're saying, they're looking up, they're looking at the top 6 in that cup final, and now What would they be, 11th if the results say 10th or 11th?
Yeah, and then again we speak about the pressure that's on Stephen Presley. When does the pressure turn to Stephen Robinson? It's been such a poor run. I know the game's not over and he certainly won't see it over, but it would be another hugely disappointing result if it ends up this way and end up in a defeat for them. So yeah, worrying times for St Mirren, because they're kind of petering on that little... They need to turn it around pretty quickly. This game today, I thought they would go and get a result. There's a long way to go still, but what a response from Dundee. Incredible.
There is a scenario whereby Dundee win and Kilmarnock win and both go above St Mirren, who would then be right behind Livy. Livy bottom with 8. It would be St Mirren second bottom on 10. If that scenario comes true. So, as I say, they are an enigma. Everyone looks at them and thinks, good team. 3 times in a row, Stephen Robinson has had them top 6. But they're a good team not getting good results.
At the moment, certainly not. Peterhead 1-0 up at home against Morton as well. Niall McGinn with the goal. Right, Hugh, let's round this off now.
The first half teaser
with the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
Okay, since the 2018-2019 season, can you tell me the last 6 players to have worn the number 9 jersey for Rangers? They are Youssef Chermiti, whether you like him or not, he's number 9. Cyril Dessers, Dazzler's favourite player. Antonio Cholak, Ahmed Diallo, Jermaine Defoe, and Umar Sadiq. There's your 6.
There are your 6. Let's do the podium then. In third place, Jamie Dock. Second with Chris Geddes. And first, George Kirkland. Congratulations to you. You are the winner of the first half teaser. The big question is, Gordon Dale, did you get them all right?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at your sheet.
6 out of 6. Excellent. Yeah. He told me it would be fair. He did. Yeah.
Right, okay, I'm keeping an eye on you today because people aren't happy.
He's been good the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm on fire.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how you get on in the second half. But I'll give you that one.
Bit like Steny 4-0 up on fire.
4-0 Steny on fire. That game is done. Right, how are we looking in the scores? We are approaching half time and it remains Dundee 2, St Mirren 1. 0-0 in the big game at Fir Park, with Motherwell having most of the ball and plenty of goals in the Scottish Cup third round. Don't forget, we will go around all of the grounds before the half-time break as well. If you're looking at it now, are we looking at any games that are 0-0 currently that we think there could be a shock in the Scottish Cup? What stands out at the moment, boys? Hedry Hamilton's still 0-0 as well in that big game that we've got David Friel at.
Yeah, I don't know actually at the moment.
That could be a long day.
You think?
Do you know, so I'm sitting here with my fingers crossed that goes to extra time.
I phoned him on the way in just to chat about a few things, and he said, I'm praying it's no extra time.
Mate. I remember Livingston Wraith Rovers at Livingston. I was doing it for SuperScoreBoard, and the only game it went to extra time, and I pulled the plug and said that the equipment had broke. And I admitted to this day I refused to sit through another 30 odd minutes of that.
I don't know, is Dumbarton Auchinleck still? I mean, I wouldn't say that would be a massive shock if Auchinleck go to Dumbarton and get a result, but certainly a club that's at a lower tier than Dumbarton.
Yeah, there's a few chances there. There's a few 0-0s. We are still Hedry Hamilton. It just looks like extra time and penalties, doesn't it already? I don't want to give him the kiss of death. Camelon Juniors, Edinburgh City 0-0 as well. Yeah, Dumbarton, Auchinleck. Auchinleck have had a couple good runs though in recent years, haven't they? That's Arbroath 2-0 up at East Fife as well. Gavin Riley with the goal. Any other shocks that we could get? Well, you never know. 45 minutes is certainly a long time in football. We are not far away from the half-time updates from the 3 matches we are at. Mrs. Friel has a night out. He's under orders to get back sharp.
Oh dear.
What's the trick you told him? Just pull out the plug, say it's broken.
Pull the plug, yeah. Just give it the usual. It's starting to, the batteries are starting to go here, everything. The electricity is down, everything. You say anything you want, and then you kid on, what, I can't hear you, and then you tap your ear and tap the mic, and then boom, out of the plugs, into the case, you're on the car park, you're away early.
David Friel, take notes, okay? With 2 minutes stoppage time at Fir Park between Motherwell and
Now
Hearts.
there's a scoreline. Peterhead 1, Morton 0. So
That would be our leading shock at the moment, wouldn't it?
So is Billy Davies in charge of the team?
He's taking it today. Yeah, I spoke to him last
I'm
night.
surprised you're not on the touchline with him. He's your pal, isn't he, Billy Davies?
The people want.
It's a bit far away for you, isn't it?
Yeah. Here, listen, I'm like the Celtic manager. I'm picking my games.
Half-time coming in. A lot of those Scottish Cup games will be going around the grounds very shortly. Interesting first half that it's 0-0. Hearts almost look happy just to sit in and try and soak up pressure. Maybe they'll turn up the ante in the second 45. We'll be hearing from Fraser Wishart in that game very, very shortly. Elgin 1-0 up on Stirling as well. Just scored before half-time, it looks like. Only got a minute left before the break. Who will be the happier of the two teams, Hugh? Motherwell or Hearts?
I think Motherwell will be frustrated because the offside decision, it's tighter than two coats of paint, but they're stuck with it. But I think that Jens Bertel Askew can be very pleased with the way his team have performed in the first half. Derek McInnes will not be tearing the paper off the walls though.
Half-time at Fir Park. Fraser Wishart.
Yeah, half-time Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. Not quite the fireworks we'd hoped for. No goals. Neither keeper really testy, but it's actually been a decent game to watch as both sides moving the ball around well. Motherwell prompting with more of the possession. Hearts dropping off, but carry that threat on the break with Braga and Kizaridis. Motherwell did actually have the ball in the net. Callum Hendry got the ball into the back of the net, but was disallowed by VAR for offside after they celebrated the goal with the supporters. A quick start to the game. It was really end-to-end in the opening 10 minutes or so. Fourth minute, Kingsley with a deep cross to the back post. Harry Milne came in and won the header at the back post, and his header looped onto the top of the net. At the other end, Stuart Finlay dallied in the box, didn't clear his lines. Elijah just robbed him. His low cross was to one that Maswanisi, but then from striker Miss kicked the ball from 6 yards out and the ball was cleared. Motherwell was expected with most of the possession. Hearts dropping off, trying to block the spaces for Motherwell's attackers, but the tempo dropped. Both sides a bit more cautious after that high tempo start to the game, defending well, perhaps not wanting to make a mistake. 24th minute, Motherwell thought they had the opening goal. Elliot Watt deep in the left hand side at 30 yards out, whipped in a great cross with his right foot, and Callum Hendry stretched to get his toe to the ball from about 8 yards, and the ball went into the back of the net, but VAR checked and VAR referee Gavin Duncan gave offside. But for all possession, Motherwell weren't testing Schwoloff in the Hearts goal. No shots the first 30 minutes. In fact, the first shot on target of any sort was in 39 minutes. Elijah just did well on the right cut inside, but he didn't get a real purchase on his left foot shot, and Schwoloff had an easy save. Then just before the break, a good chance for Hearts, a really good move on the edge of the box. They kept possession, kept prompting. Blair Spittle with a back flick set up Cammy Devlin. He had time to measure his shot, but he fired well over the bar from 20 yards. Game could probably do with a goal, which might just open the floodgates, but it's been a good game to watch so far despite no goals. Half time at Fir Park, Motherwell 0, Hearts 0.
We are at the break as well, the Excelsior Stadium with David Friel.
Yeah, good game here as well. Gabs, half-time, Airdrie 0, Hamilton 0. Even game, as we said before, at Hamilton have had so much of the ball, they've looked a threat, but Airdrie have had by far the best chances. Chris Mulkey, Sean McGinty, Dylan McDonald all should really have scored for the Diamonds. You just wonder if those missed chances will come back to haunt them in the second half. Aki settled quicker, they started to play. Connor Smith with a shot block. Kyle McDonald cleared the stand from 20 yards. Kevin O'Hara was then really unlucky with a curling effort. Was so close to finding the top corner. Stephen Bradley had an effort as well. John Rankin's side were impressing. They continued to press. But Airdrie then started to play probably midway through the half. Ewan Henderson had a shot blocked after a good move. Sean McGinty came closer. Corner dropped him. He didn't catch his strike right, and Jamie Smith saved. Henderson's cross was then perfect for Mockery. Twisted free inside the box. Great skill, but fired wide from 8 yards. Airdrie kept pushing for that opener. Dylan McDonald, he got the end of a cross. He sent a shot wide from a similar distance. I'm confident there will be goals in the second half, Cabs, and let's pray, let's hope for no extra time. Half time, Airdrie 0, Hamilton 0.
Let's hope for your sake. Right, the final game has reached the break. It is Dave Galloway at Dens Park.
Yes, Gabriel, it's Dundee 2, St Mirren 1 at the interval. St Mirren took early control, getting plenty balls into the box, but without managing to capitalise. Fraser's header was deflected over, and Lundulu stabbed across wide from the left-hand side. Dundee offering very little threat at this stage. and Saints took a deserved lead after 27 minutes. It was an absolute howler by Clark Robertson, though. He gave the ball straight to Mandron, who wasted no time at all to lash the ball into the bottom corner from the edge of the box. 2 minutes later, though, a bit of a shock. It was all square. Danda hit one from distance, and the ball was deflected in for an OG by the unlucky Gogic. Now, this gave the hosts something to build on. It seemed to give them a bit of heart, a bit of impetus, and it was 2-1 on 39 minutes with a fantastic strike from Wright, a real collector's item from him. He went past his man, then really let fly from the edge of the box his powerful shot going into the net off the post. Could the keeper have done better, though? That is the question. I certainly didn't see this coming earlier in this half, but at the interval at Dens Park, it's Dundee 2, St Mirren 1.
Yeah, a full run through of all of the half-time scores across the country coming next.
Scottish football's league leader. This is Clyde One Super Scoreboard.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Clyde One Super Scoreboard. It's 4 o'clock on a Saturday, which means the second halves are just about to get underway across the country. In the big game at Fir Park, it is Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. A goal disallowed for Callum Hendry by VAR appeared to just be offside, and it remains level, whilst Dundee have come from behind to lead St Mirren 2-1. A huge game in the bottom half of the Premiership. And of course, there is the Scottish Cup third round. So we have so many fixtures up and down the nation. Airdrie against Hamilton, the pick of the ties. David Friel's there. It's 0-0 and he is begging for it not to go to extra time and penalties. Gordon Dalziel, on the other hand, is begging it does. Right, stick with us for the next couple of hours. We're going to look back a little bit more at Rangers and Celtic's results from Thursday night and look ahead, of course, to their two massive fixtures in the Premiership tomorrow. Celtic, first of all, travelling to Hibs, and then Rangers at home against Falkirk. We'll have a bit of chat as well about the incoming Wilfred Nancy, and we are just 6 days away from Scotland's World Cup draw. They are going to North America 2026, but where? That's the question. It might be Mexico, it might be Canada, it might be New York, it might be California, it might be Miami. We want to know, you at home, where would you like to go? Where would you like to see them play? You might be watching from Glasgow, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, wherever, or you might be going over. Where do you want to go and why? And I'll be asking the boys in the studio the exact same question. But we are not far away now from the kickoffs, and we are underway in the second half.
Clyde One Super Scoreboard Goal Flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy. Get set for the season with expert pharmacy support.
Well, here we go. It is a huge second half of football, especially at Fir Park. Hugh Keevins.
It's not often I get anything right, as you well know. But the first words I uttered this afternoon, I said, we're short on fixtures, long on consequences. St Mirren, toiling. There is a scenario whereby St Mirren lose to Dundee today and Livy win tomorrow. St Mirren would be bottom of the Premiership table. Hardly a confidence booster ahead of the Premier Sports Cup final against Celtic. There is another scenario whereby Hearts lose to Motherwell, and it is a help to Celtic psychologically, or Motherwell lose to Hearts, and the pressure is on Celtic because Hearts take a 7-point lead, and Celtic have to go to Edinburgh tomorrow. So short on fixtures, long on consequences.
Yeah, big second half's coming up for a lot of teams here. You're looking at big game Motherwell Hearts. Motherwell obviously dominating possession once again, and that sounds a real good game there. And then Dundee, can they finally get 3 points on the board and put real pressure on St Mirren domestically? And then you're looking at Airdrie and Hamilton, who's going to win the Lanarkshire Derby.
Yeah, a massive half coming up for Pat. It'll be interesting, the team talks there. I think Motherwell will be a little bit frustrated, but probably happy with the way they played and how they've dominated the first half. And listen, I don't think Derek McInnes, we all know he won't panic. It's 0-0. He'll went in, send a message over to try and get on the ball, create a couple more chances to allow his strike force to go and put the ball in the back of the net. So all to play for it for Park, and we look forward to the second half.
as the boys in the studio are saying, it is a massive 45 minutes in the Premiership and, of course, in the Scottish Cup. Teams looking to get through to the fourth round, which is where all of the big boys come in. There's a little bit of a celebration in the studio. That's Cammy Bell as Annan Athletic take a 2-0 lead over Bucky Thistle. Tommy Muir in the 48th minute. Cammy, looks like they're going through.
Yeah, double from Tommy. An important player for Annan. So, yeah, listen, as I said, finances for the club, it's a big result.
And we've got one of these in the second half.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It is 1-0 to Airdrie. It looks like, as it stands, there is no extra time for David Freeland. Gordon Dalziel's got his hand in the air. McGrattan with a great run and a brilliant finish into the corner. You called it.
My double was Dundee and Airdrie today.
Simple.
Forget Alvaro.
Never mind all that rubbish. I told you, in the name of Kevin Bridges, in the name of Marty Pello, in the name of Wet, 1-1, the Bankies.
They are alive, Hugh, in the Scottish Cup. 1-1 at Stranraer. Aaron Preston with the goal, and it could be going the distance there as well. What did you have in the first game, Daz? Draw?
I took Motherwell. No, I didn't.
But you took Hearts, I've got you there. Extra change.
I'm doing a wee shug at Keevins.
Listen, you're not far off the treble here.
Listen, at the end of the day, it's still wide open at Fir Park, and especially when you've got that threat up top of Shanklin and Braga, you can't switch off.
Yeah, you can't rule them out at any moment. Of course, the teams are back out and playing all across the country. Airdrie with that big goal to start the second 45. They lead Hamilton in the battle of the two Lanarkshire teams there. Hamilton, as it stands, going out of the Scottish Cup like so many teams across the country. But who's going through to the fourth round? Well, Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Dundee United, Dundee, Motherwell, all of the Premiership teams drop in and play. Montrose 3-0 up at Benburg. Blair Lyons with the goal as well. But it is, of course, the second half, Hugh, which means we have to do this.
The second half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
After starting my professional career at Bournemouth, I was managed by David Moyes and Danny Wilson. I played alongside Graham Alexander, Derek Collins and Steve Howard. Since winning English League One in season 04-05, I have gone on to manage players like Chris Keatings and Lee Erwin. Who am I? A lot of information to absorb there. Started my professional playing career at Bournemouth. Subsequently managed by Davy Moyes and Danny Wilson. Played alongside Graham Alexander, Derek Collins and Steve Howard. Won English League One in the 04-05 season and have since gone on to manage players like Chris Keatings and Lee Erwin. Who am I?
That's a tough one. What are you thinking straight away?
I'm thinking that's a tough one. Yeah. I'm echoing your sentiments here.
Right, is that not just your poker face because you've already got the answer somehow? No?
I swear I've not got the answer to that.
Right,
if I had the answer to that, I am cheating.
Good. Right, that's what I'm expecting from you. Cammy, anything coming to mind straight away? Of course, don't actually say it out loud. You can write it down and show me.
Mate, have a look at his face. he ain't got no poker face.
He does not.
I looked at Dad. He's got no clue.
You've not had years of practice of a poker face like he has. Straight stonewall. We've got Camelot Juniors 1-0 up against Edinburgh City, and Elgin City 1-1 with Stirling Albion as well. Ross Kavanagh and Ross Cunningham, the two goal scorers there. Right, do not forget to tweet us who you think it is at Clyde SSB on Twitter, on X, and it is a podium as usual. 1, 2, 3, who gets in there? And I want to know if Gordon DL can get it. We're keeping an eye on him, making sure there's no cheating. Any ideas yet? Anything written down?
No.
Nothing.
I'm trying to digest it. I do my jigsaw, remember? Corner, corner, fill it in.
You're a pro at this. You are a pro at this. Okay. We are still 0-0 at Motherwell Hearts. Dundee still leading 2-1 against... Oh, David Friel's just texted me. He's got it straight away.
David Friel has?
Yeah. He knows what he's doing. He's a pro at it.
What did he text you?
I'll text you it.
Okay. No, don't text me.
That's how you usually get the answer.
No, but you texted me it.
So who was the mole? Did we find out?
Oh, about a year ago.
Yeah.
John.
It was John,
Producer
wasn't it?
John.
So standard. So
Yeah.
standard. But you've not been cheating this year?
Not yet, no.
How many have you got right?
Everyone. No, a few I've not been able to
Hugh,
get.
is he telling the truth?
Yeah, he's telling the truth this time.
But there's a few that I don't get. I would say 80%. I'm not bad. 80%.
It is a tough one, but if you at home know it, please tweet us in. And if you, like David Friel, have got the answer, we'll be very, very impressed. Okay, we also want to know where you would like to see Scotland play at the World Cup next year. It's in North America. It's in 2 cities in Canada. It's in 3 cities in Mexico. And it is in many, I think it's up to 10 cities in the United States. We'll start with you, Hugh Keevins. You have been to 3 men's World Cups in 3 different continents, correct?
Yep.
USA 94, France 98, South Korea and Japan 2002.
I started 1992 World Cup draw, Hilton Hotel, Manhattan.
Oh,
can you believe it? I'm going up the escalator. I see Pele standing over there. I see Franz Beckenbauer standing over there. I see a champagne fountain, and I think to myself, I wonder what the wife's doing now.
That's when you think you've made it as a reporter.
Incredible. To be in New York City was incredible. And when the tournament began 2 years later, I was in New York City again. The Republic of Ireland versus Italy, the Giant Stadium, New Jersey. The winning goal scored by a boy from the Gorbals in Glasgow, Ray Houghton, who played for the Republic of Ireland. And I have never known excitement like it. I went over to my hotel, which, as they say in America, was across the freeway from the Giant Stadium. Every Irish person of birth in Ireland or Irish descent in America was in that hotel. You were literally up all night because there was no point in going to bed. The noise was so great. And I also owe Lord Hockey my thanks for that day because the humidity was awful.
He paid your bar bill?
No.
Yeah, he did. Let's be honest.
No, he did better than that. He did better than that. The humidity before the game was awful and I was clutching for breath. So I went on to the concourse where it had air conditioning and I heard the voice shouting, Shug! Shug! And I thought, it can't be me. I mean, I'm in New York City. I turned round, Lord Hockey.
We're going to have to interrupt you, Hugh. We got one of these.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's 2-0 Airdrie. Chris Mockery with the goal, a long ball. Aki's claim offside, but he runs through and finishes it. It looks like Airdrie are going through, Hamilton are going home, and David Friel is going home before extra time.
Yes.
I'd just like to say the jigsaw is complete.
Right, you've done it.
Right.
I'll just finish that story by saying that, Willie very kindly took me into a hospitality box that he had in the Giant Stadium, so that's the way to watch the World Cup. And if Scotland go to New York, yes, you've got it, Daz. If Scotland are sent to New York, that'd be wonderful because it's a Scottish town. They have the big parade there every year, and it's a great place for Scots, for the Irish, and New York, for me, the most exciting city in the world. If you're having a 28-year wait to do something, there's no bad draw, no good draw, it's just the draw. After waiting 28 years, you simply enjoy it. But if it was New York, I would love to see the Tartan Army on Broadway.
Oh, could you imagine? A few goals, and an Athletic 3-0 up on Bucky Thistle. Stirling Albion 2-1 up away at Elgin City. And as we know, Airdrie 2-0 up on Hamilton, and it look like they're going through to the next round of the Cup, and they've just got a penalty as well. Ooh. A penalty for Airdrie. That looks like it could seal the game. So Hugh Keevins wants a repeat of USA 1994, except instead of watching Ireland score, he wants to watch Scotland score. Who do you at home where do you want to see Scotland play? Is it New York? Is it up there in the northeast of the States with Boston and Philadelphia, Toronto not too far across the border? Or do you want to be on the northwest with Seattle, Vancouver, perhaps the southwest with San Francisco or Los Angeles? Are you more of a Texas person? Daz, I see your face twitching. Where are you going?
My favourite city in the whole world.
Where?
Toronto.
Yeah?
I love Toronto.
Why Toronto?
Good memories. Met a nice looking girl there.
I'm cutting you off for that. I'm cutting you off.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
That penalty has been scored by Edry. Ewan Henderson takes against his former club with a stutter and calm into the bottom corner. Edry 3, Hamilton 0. They are going through to the Scottish Cup 4th round, bar one of the biggest comebacks we've seen in a long time. So what a result that would be. And Gordon Dalziel, you were the only one who called Edry.
I'm a bit surprised with the lads how they went for
Aki's away.
You know, Airdrie have picked up a little bit.
Yeah, no, they have.
You know, and they were unlucky not to beat Mark's Partick Thistle, only for a blunder from the goalkeeper. They've had a couple of decent wee results. Hamilton, well known off the pitch and real bother. So I was a bit surprised at that, guys.
Yeah, no, listen, I just felt as if Hamilton have been in decent form. For all the off-field stuff that's been going on, but you're right, Airdrie have picked up in the last few weeks, so it looks like they're marching on to the next round.
3 goals in 11 minutes at the start of the second half for Airdrie. Ruthless from them, putting Hamilton to the sword. Morton 2-1 up at Peterhead. They've turned that game around. Tommy Adeloy with a penalty in the 60th minute, an hour gone there and an hour gone now on most of the games across the country. So Daz, let's go back to Toronto.
Yeah.
You're taking Toronto. Any other reasons than that?
No, it was my first ever pre-season tour with Rangers when I was young.
Was it?
Yeah.
What year would that have been?
Oh, 79, 80.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. Loved it. And it was always a city. And I've been back to Toronto a right few times. There's something about it I just love. Don't get me wrong, I've never been to New York. I've been to America, but I've never been to New York. I don't know. But I've got something sentimental about Toronto for me.
All right. It's still 0-0 at Fir Park, approaching the hour mark as well. Motherwell against Hearts. Will we get a breakthrough there? Dundee 2-1 up on St Mirren, and plenty of scores in the Scottish Cup 3rd round as well. Cammy, have you thought much about it, Cammy? Where would you pick? You happy with anywhere, or you got a specific place?
Listen, I'm happy with anywhere. I'm happy we're there. I'm happy we're in the draw. But again, yes, I have thought about it because my daughter wanted to go over to the World Cup. That's what she wanted for her Christmas. So I'm hoping it's going to be New York, Philly, or Boston, one of the more accessible ones for Scotland fans to get over. So listen, I would like to go to New York. I think it would be an amazing city for the Tartan Army, as Hugh mentioned, to go to. I think just looking at accessibility for everyone to get flights over it's a bit easier. It'll be lighter on my pocket as well, Daz.
Long way for Annan, mate.
Yeah, listen, but
you've got a journey before you even get out of the country.
I know. I'll be going though. I'll definitely be going. 100% to take a game in. 100%. Yep.
And you would pick New York if you could go anywhere?
I would, yes. Amazing city. Again, it's a brilliant country to host it because all the stadiums are going to be amazing. It'll be, obviously, everything will be Americanised with regards to showpieces and loads of stuff going on round about the stadium. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the draw. I think it's so exciting this week and there'll be a big build up to it.
Yeah, we're starting to get a few tweets in. People saying, I live in Buffalo. This is Scotty on Twitter. I'm in Buffalo. New York, Toronto is ideal. Philadelphia, New Jersey, will take any of them. Is Lady Keevins interested in going to the World Cup?
Oh, it's worse than that. I've got 6 grandchildren. She's talking about taking a lot of them.
I mean, that'd be sore in his pocket, wouldn't it, Daz?
So it'd be fatal. You've no idea. That's what he talks about. Doesn't talk about the football. He's like, that draw. Can no bring it back to Hampden.
We'll have to wait and see. That is going to be on Friday. The draw starts at 5 o'clock. But let us know where you would like Scotland to play.
Do you remember the historical day when O.J. Simpson went down the freeway in the Bronco?
Well, I don't remember because I don't think I was born, but I do know.
That happened when I was in America for the World Cup in '94.
Did it?
The whole country came to a standstill. O.J. Simpson in that white Bronco. Every television programme on every channel, and there are a million of them in America. That was it. Just filmed O.J. Simpson in the Bronco.
And you were there?
Yeah. Not on the
not in the Bronco. No.
He was behind him in a taxi.
Sean on Twitter says New York for me. That'd be some trip with the Tartan Army. And as you say, the Irish were all there in '94. The Irish could still be there this year, and the Northern Irish, the Welsh, they've all got a chance in the playoffs in March.
The prospect of the Irish and the Scottish being in New York at the same time, the Shandon Bar on 8th Avenue. That's the place for you, Gabs. Just get into the Shandon Bar on 8th Avenue.
We've also got some tweets coming in, Hugh Keevins, about the Who Am I? Right, let's do some wrong answers. Marco Looney has thrown in Stephen Naismith.
No.
Stephen Joyce says Lee Bullen.
No.
And Paul Rankin with Derek Adams?
No. He's been in many places, but not the man you're looking for.
Not those, right. Keep them coming as well. We want to hear from you about the Who Am I and where you would like to see Scotland play at the World Cup. I think the most interesting dynamic about this World Cup, I went to the Russian World Cup in 2018, and that was obviously across such a big country, biggest country in the world, but it was all in the western side of it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as if I did get a 20-hour train, to be fair, but it wasn't as if
20-hour train.
20-hour train, man. That only cost about
Were you
£6
pushing
as
it?
well.
Wow.
Hold on a minute. Let me
No,
just say,
I'm not going there.
20-hour train. It only cost £6,
Yeah.
mate. I wouldn't go on that if it was free. Never mind me bragging if it was £6 for 20 hours.
Mate, this is what I just finished being a student. I had no money, so I went for that. 2-0 Auchinleck at Dumbarton. Connor Boyd in the 62nd minute. Is that our shock of the day?
Yeah, I think that's got to be up there. Yep.
People saying we could beat Argentina at the moment. We've got Scott McSauce, McTominay, bring it on anywhere. I just think the most interesting thing is that for the first time you could have such a different experience if you're in New York. Imagine you're in Mexico City. That's a different tournament.
Yeah.
Mexico City.
Never been to Mexico?
I am going. I already booked to go with my friends for the knockout stages, so I'm going to have to pan it if Scotland get through, but I'm not counting my chickens yet.
Can I ask a personal? Come on, chill on a week. Every 2 minutes you're going on holiday somewhere.
Yeah, and then I've just told you how I get there. £6 trains. It can take
for
20 hours. You don't want to know how I'm getting to Mexico City, mate. You do not want to know. But Mexico would be amazing as well, Hugh, would it not? Imagine at the Azteca, that one of, if not the most iconic stadium in World Cup history.
Yeah, of course. As I say, there's no bad draw, no good draw. It's just the draw, because we waited 28 years for the moment. But as Cammy said earlier on, you're hoping for good accessibility. You walk into Glasgow Airport and get a flight via Iceland or whatever to New York, and you're there in 5 or 6 hours. But it's not up to me. If you would rather be in Guadalajara, then that's your business.
In Mexico, we've got Guadalajara and Monterrey as well. 2 in Canada, and I think it's 10 in the States, 10 or 11 in the States. It would just be unbelievable. And we will know our fate on Friday afternoon, and we'll be together.
Yeah, we will do, yeah. We're having a wee after. And by the way, the 4 of us.
Aye, you'll be there as well.
Be together.
Yeah, but you're lucky because you're not on Super Scoreboard at 6 o'clock that day.
Oh, unlucky you.
You're going to behave yourself then when we're at the Cash for Kids dinner.
Gordon Duncan never takes his eyes off me.
School teacher with him, by the way.
Amazing.
He's allowed 1 glass with his dinner.
Yes.
Let me just say
because he knows he's giving you a lift there.
Every now and then you can see the head put round.
I love it.
Oh, brilliant. No, that'll be great. And not only for us, everyone in the country will be glued to the screen. Never have you watched a draw so intently as that. I mean, we're getting text here. The game is coming to life, I think, a bit at Fir Park. Fraser Wishart said Shanklin header brilliantly cleared off the line by Hendry facing his own goal. That's Hendry, who thought he'd put Motherwell ahead in the first half, but it was taken off him. Fraser saying that Hearts have definitely been the better team in the second half, which wasn't the case in the first half. So is that perhaps the game plan? Is that the game plan from Derek McInnes? A bit of the rope-a-dope. Let Motherwell have all the ball, and then we'll come out in the second half and try and sting them. Maswanise has the ball in the net, but the flag is up. VAR will check, says Fraser Wisher. It is really coming to life at Fir Park. People wait with bated breath with Maswanise has got the ball in the back of the net, but Fraser Wisher reckons it is offside. We'll wait for confirmation there. Hendry is actually off after that brilliant goal line clearance from Shankland's header. Saeed is on for him. We'll wait to bring you up to date there. Kelty Hearts 2-0 up on Brecon City.
It certainly sounds as if it's came to life, the game. Again, sounds as if it was a brilliant clearance from Callum Hendry. Then Motherwell get another goal chopped off for offside.
There must be a winner here.
Yeah,
there must be a winner.
Feels like there's got to be a goal. And I think Hearts, listen, I think, as I said at half time, Derek McInnes wouldn't have been too disappointed with the first half going in 0-0, probably not playing well or creating as many chances as he want to. He's obviously sent the message on, get the ball in the box a little bit more, dominate possession a little bit more. We know Motherwell are going to have huge amounts of possession the way they play, so sounds as if Hearts have came out with a different game plan.
Yeah, offside confirmed there. The game remains level. So Motherwell have had the ball in the back of the net twice. VAR ruling them out both times. Second time there, it was an offside, so it's black and white. That definitely shouldn't have counted. Lawrence Shankland just having the ball cleared off the line as well by Callum Hendry. So you've got about 35 minutes there to find a winner at Fir Park. The winner at the moment at Dundee is Dundee. They're 2-1 up on St Mirren, which would be a huge result for Stephen Presley and his men, and another blow for Stephen Robinson's side. The form they're in at the moment, league-wise, is poor, and he will want to turn that around. Can they get something in the Scottish Cup? We've got big results all over the place. It is 3-0 to Airdrie against Hamilton at the moment, as correctly predicted by Gordon DL, and not the other two here in the studio.
If Dundee win, you know, they leapfrog at Kilmarnock and St Mirren, go on to 12 points, puts Kilmarnock under even more pressure. 6 defeats on the bounce.
And Hugh, Kilmarnock's fixtures coming up after this one. Again, you look at Hearts, they've got Rangers, they've got Aberdeen. They're really, really tough fixtures for Stuart Kettlewell.
Will he survive if he gets beat tonight?
Is this Kettlewell?
Yeah.
What do you think, Hugh?
7 defeats in a row. I'm not sure he survived that.
He's under a lot of pressure, isn't he? I thought he got off to a good start.
He did get off to a good start. They started strong.
Yeah, but the wheels have just come off just now. He certainly needs something.
But as I say, a home win tonight against a Dundee United side. Will they play the dodgy goalkeeper?
Listen, but I think they absolutely need it, because again, looking at the fixtures, Wednesday night you're away to Hearts, right? And then you've got Rangers at home on the Saturday, and then again Aberdeen away. They're not fixtures you'd really look forward to going to if you don't get anything from tonight's fixture.
You touched the goalkeeper, right? If Dundee United play that goalkeeper, and Kilmarnock play the goalkeepers at Beach, this could be 10 half-time, 20 the winner.
It'll be interesting, Dundee United one, because Kukurenko, I think it's a big decision from Jim Goodwood whether he gives him the vote of confidence and plays him after an absolute horror show.
He's and it wasn't about 3 in the net.
I know. He's
How do you deal with that, Cammy, when you have a game like that?
Why are you asking Cammy?
Too many of them. No, listen, it'll be really tough for him, and it wasn't just one mistake. It's bad enough having one real horror show of a mistake that costs your team the points, but he's had 3 goals that he's played a huge part in, so I think it's really difficult. But it's interesting because I think Jim Goodwin, if he sticks with him, he needs to have a decent solid game. He really needs to have probably would be looking for a quiet game. If he doesn't stick with him and he drops him, I think he's done. They paid money for him. They paid money for him as well. So listen, I think it's a big call from the manager, but the manager needs a point, so it's on his head.
Yeah, I think it won't be long. We might get team news in about 2 minutes, so we'll see. We will see when they come out, and we'll let you know what the big team news is from that 5:45 game. Kilmarnock against Dundee United, of course. The big game at the moment, Motherwell Hearts in the 70th minute, is still 0-0. Huge game at the top of the table. Hearts, can they extend their lead over Celtic? They're currently 4 points ahead. Celtic playing tomorrow at Easter Road. Rangers at home against Falkirk. Motherwell flying high as well, been so impressive over recent weeks. Daz, what is your what are your thoughts on working next summer at the World Cup when you take that into consideration? Not going there for leisure, going there for work. Are you still picking Toronto?
Yes, I certainly am, yeah. I would love to go back to Toronto. But I've got to say, right, the boys and people are tweeting in, New York really appeals to me. I could fancy myself running about New York. Yeah. I really do.
What would you want to do? What's on your list?
Me dropping a pin and you come and get me. as we did in the Euros.
Many times in Germany.
Yeah. I don't know. Just I'm not. I don't sightsee, right?
So you're not a sight. You wouldn't be Statue of Liberty to Times Square.
I hate sightseeing. Right? I don't even see the point in it. But if I went to New York, I think at my age now, I would take a couple of things in.
Couple of things?
Yeah, a couple of things.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a second after this.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
4-0 Airdrie against Hamilton.
Wow.
Accies fans flooding out of the stadium, and they are out of the cup. Airdrie are through. A huge result, and one you called, Gorgon Dalziel. Well, Cammy, why did you have Accies? Just the form?
I think, listen, they've actually been decent in the league. They've had points deductions, loads of stuff going off the field that they've needed to deal with. They've got a good squad as well, an experienced squad, championship experience. So that's why I thought they would give an account of themselves today, but it certainly went against them. And it looks as if it's been a very comfortable afternoon for Airdrie.
You'd almost suspect that the players have been told something, and it's on their minds. You know, it's such a collapse, 4-0, because no matter what you do to John Rankin's team, the duck points, this, that, the other, they keep coming back. And you know, praise John Rankin time without number in this programme for the way he's held it all together. But that is a terrible collapse on their part.
There's an interesting goal there. Cove Rangers equalise against St Johnstone in Perth, and Cove Rangers have been awful this season.
I know. Mitch Megginson with the goal.
Yep. So that's
Greg Stewart just signed them. You see that, Greg Stewart?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and Chris Maguire as well.
Yes, Chris Maguire. Yeah, played with Chrissy as well. Yep. Again, that's a big goal. That would be a huge upset.
That would be huge.
Upset.
St Johnstone have had, you know, they've of course had that brilliant cup success. They've had one or two early cup exits over the last few years as well. We are not far away from team news in Kilmarnock. All the Dundee United teams come in. It's a change in goal. Kukurenko is not in goal. He is dropped. It looks like, is it Richards in goal?
Yeah, Dave Richards.
Yep. Dave Richards in goal. We'll have the full team for you in a moment. But Cammy, is that the right call?
The right call is if they manages to win the game and they keep a clean sheet today. I just feel that Kukurenko, now he has, as mentioned, he's made a number of mistakes. It wasn't just last weekend. As I mentioned, they've paid a fee for this guy to come in. He's not hit the ground running. They've had really good goalkeepers over the past few years. I fear for him that when he does eventually get back in, you're always remembered as that dodgy goalie that comes back in, because he's going to have to let this hang on him over until he gets another opportunity. So listen, Jim Goodwin's made the call. He's obviously seen things in training or how low he's been, so the proof will be in the pudding if they can get a clean sheet.
I've got to be honest, I think it's the right call. I really do. It's not just the one game.
No, it wasn't. Yeah.
There are a few games. He just doesn't look full of confidence now. It's a big game for Dundee United as well. They've dropped out the bottom top six. So I think it's the right call from Jim.
Yeah, Dave Galloway saying it's end-to-end at Dens Park between Dundee and St Mirren. Still goalless, Motherwell Hearts. 15 minutes of regulation time.
Let's get a
left
late winner
to play.
Written all over it.
There's drama, isn't there? There's going to be drama. We've got a few more tweets coming in. People saying they agree with you, Gordon DL. They'd like Toronto. It's quite a popular suggestion for people. And
it's another big Scottish town.
A big connection there.
I watched Scotland play there, and I'll never forget the girl who sang "Oh Canada" and then segued straight into "Flower of Scotland."
Is it a nice segue? Does it flow?
Oh, what was I? When I think I had just become a grandfather or whatever, and it was a real something in my eye moment.
Yeah.
Oh Canada is a lovely anthem, and the girl segued into Flower of Scotland. It was a real choker.
Yeah. Stenhouse Muir 4, Clachnacudden 1, they've pulled one back through Harry Nicholson. Auchinleck 4-0 up at Dumbarton. That is a shock. Oh, someone tweeting you in, Hugh. Does Hugh get anything right? Ray Houghton is from Castlemilk, not the Gorbals. Someone disputing that.
Oh, right.
We'll have to find out.
I stand corrected.
Maybe
I'm mixing him up with Owen Coyle. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Owen Coyle was from the Gorbals and played for the Republic of Ireland. So I apologise to the people of Chateau Delay.
All right, we are about 15 minutes away from full time across the country. There's got to be some goal action. There'll be chances. Do you think both teams still get a chance here? 15 minutes to go, Motherwell Hearts?
Yeah, and plus the fact you're added on for VAR as well. It could be 15 to 20. I think there's a bit of drama at Fir Park.
Yeah.
Surely a goal to win it.
I feel like there's going to be a goal.
Who are you going for?
I don't know. I don't want to call it, to be honest, because I'll probably be wrong. But I feel like Hearts have grown
sure, but I think that's what we pay you for on the show to make calls.
Hearts have grown into the second half. It sounds like they've took a little bit more control than they had in the first. They've had opportunities, and you've just got to look. Shankland there. I just feel there's always a goal in him.
I love it. It's the gunslinger moment. Maswanisi, Shankland.
Yeah,
one of the gunslingers is going to do the business before time up.
Yeah, Shankland thought he had it. Well, there's a brilliant clearance off the line from Callum Hendry, who himself thought he'd put Motherwell ahead in the first half, but it remains level. A good game there by all accounts in the second half. Will we get a winner? We'll have Celtic and Rangers fans. It's not often that they be paying attention to a game that they're not playing in here.
Well, if it does end in a draw, Hearts go 5 points ahead of Celtic. However, Celtic would then have 2 games in hand. So the lead would not be unassailable. And what a start it would be for Wilfred Nancy, Celtic Dundee midweek. I don't know who Hearts have got midweek, but
they're Kilmarnock, I think.
At home. Kilmarnock at Tynecastle.
Yes, at Tynecastle.
Right.
Yep.
Well, in that case, Wilfred Nancy will must beat Dundee to start off his Celtic career.
Well, don't forget, next Sunday, Hearts are at Parkhead.
Yeah,
they just keep coming. It just keeps coming.
That's why I said to David Friel, you talk of deep end, throwing in at the deep end. There's no shallow end. From Dundee, who've already beaten Celtic this season, to Hearts, to Aberdeen at Celtic Park, to Rangers at Celtic Park, Wilfred Nancy simply has to win all of those games.
Huge chance for Elijah just there for Motherwell to take the lead. Through on goal inside the box. He took a little bit too long, according to Fraser Wishart, and then straight Ash Folov. A huge chance. Probably Motherwell's best to open the scoring. Fraser says he does really well to beat his man, but just could have pulled the trigger a second or two earlier. Gordon DL.
Could have been a big moment.
Will they get a better chance?
It could be the big moment. Fraser obviously describing it there. I'd like to see it, I've got to say. But that could be the chance it just gets away from Motherwell.
I think what this is showing though as well, we've spoke about Hearts all season, how competitive they're going to be, potentially people talking about them winning the league. Listen, this shows you where Motherwell's at. They're absolutely competitive with Hearts looking to try and get the win. So I think this is a big statement. Whether Motherwell get a draw, a win out of this game, we'll wait and see. But again, I think the statement is that, look, we're here. We're top 6 challengers and certainly looking for European spots this season.
It's a match, Cammy, that lives up to the billing. And that's what we really needed. A match that lives up to the billing, that adds credibility to the Premiership. It's not just about Celtic and Rangers. And these two teams are providing a fine advertisement for the Premiership.
Yeah. Oh, they're going for it here. A good save by Shvolov. Full stretch touch away from Lucas Ferringer. Shot heading for the top left-hand corner. His side, Jens Bertel Asku, are going for the win. They're not settling for a point. They want to take all 3 from the league leaders. Bankside 0 to Ross County. Jordan White with a goal in the 81st minute. That's probably good night to the boys up in the northeast at Spain Park. They look to be heading for the Scottish Cup exit door like many others across the country. But who are going through to the 4th round where the big boys await? Will we get a goal at Fir Park? It looks like it is really heating up there. Motherwell starting to throw a bit of the kitchen sink at it, according to Fraser Wishart. Will we get another goal at Dens Park? What do we think? St Mirren, how big a loss could this prove to be for St Mirren, given, Hugh, as you know, the other results that could happen this weekend?
Yeah, as I say, there is the worst case scenario is that Livy beat Aberdeen tomorrow, and St Mirren end up bottom of the league. But I have a feeling that St Mirren will equalise at Dundee.
Do you?
Yeah.
Not a chance.
Not a chance?
Not a chance.
You think Stephen Presley's got this wrapped up?
Yeah.
What does this do, Cammy, a win for Stephen Presley? Relieve pressure on him?
Yeah, and listen, there's been big moments that he's had, because again, we speak about the result against Rangers and then that victory against Celtic. So there has been big moments when he needed to pluck something out, when the pressure was ramping up. We've spoke about he probably wasn't a choice for the fans when he came in, and he's delivered big moments when he probably needs them. And again, I feel like this was one moment that he needs the results today. Looks at the moment he's going to get the 3 points, and that would be a huge result for them.
A huge result. Over 10,000 fans at Fir Park.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Amazing.
Loving that. I'm loving that. It's back to the good old days.
When do we think the last time a team outside the Old Firm would have taken 10,000? You know, a game, that didn't involve the Old Firm at Fir Park. 10,000 is brilliant, isn't it, Hugh?
Oh, yeah. At Tynecastle, it would have filled Tynecastle if it had been played there, 20,000.
Yeah.
Hearts are monumental. They're a big club and an unbelievable supporter base, and the fans saved the club long before you'd ever heard of Tony Bloom and Jamestown Analytics and all the rest of it. The fans kept Hearts alive after the Mad Vlad days of Romanov. So they're a huge club and a huge history, but they've been in the doldrums for a long time. So that's why it's such a big story about Hearts being top of the league.
Yeah, listen, as well, what I would say is, if Motherwell keep playing like this brand of football, getting results, it'll soon be that their home fans are selling out the stadium. I think they're very close to doing that today. But if this continues, it'll be really tough for any Motherwell fan to get a ticket, because it's a brilliant brand of football. They're also getting results now, so everyone loves to see their team winning, don't they?
Yes. It's exactly what we want to see. Fans in the stadium, brilliant football and brilliant storylines. Not allowed to say narrative. I've been banned by Hugh Keevins. Callum Slattery with a free kick from 25 yards, deflected off the wall. A good save by Shvolov, high to his right. Shvolov really being put to the test here. Less than 10 minutes to go in that game. Will we find a winner? And at the moment, it's looking like it's going to be Motherwell, Hugh.
Has anybody got the Who Am I yet?
We will check that in the moment. I think we have one or two more incorrect answers.
But in answer to your question, it could be either Motherwell or Hearts, because it's been so tight, and I'm prepared for any eventuality.
We've got a few more tweets about people talking about the World Cup. They're not necessarily saying a place. They're all saying Argentina. Give us Argentina, the World Cup champions, 3-time winners, and of course Lionel Messi.
Yeah, who's in the MLS now and just really doing wonders in Miami. So we've got a history with Argentina. So let's just hope. But as I say, for me, a 28-year wait. The programme we did on the night of the win over Denmark will live with me forever. Mm-hmm. And the reaction throughout the country and the stories that were told on this programme, we shouldn't bother about who we play or where we play. We should just be saying, wow, we are going to be involved in what could be the most spectacular World Cup of all time.
We will find out on Friday evening. Edinburgh City won. Cameron Juniors won a goal from Lewis MacArthur, tying that. Looks like it will be going to extra time. Of course, no extra time in the Premiership, but this game is drawing. Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. Apostolos Stamatolopoulos coming on at the moment with Regan, Charles Cook, Maswinise and Slattery off. Forrest and Kabore on for Hearts. Braga and Kizaridis off for the Jambos.
Fraser will be hoping that the Australian doesn't score, because he went up on the high wire to pronounce his name before the game, and
Fraser, get practicing.
He had to land on the safety net at one point, but big finish, big game, big crowd, big advert for our game.
Alright, in a few minutes we'll wrap up this teaser. Fraser says he is practicing now. We've got about 5 minutes left to go. Oh, where's the drama? Where's the drama? Come on, Daz, Cammy, you two smiling over there.
The drama. The
Daz
drama.
is smiling.
Oh, he's smiling. All right.
Yeah. The drama is at Fir Park.
Fir Park.
Yeah.
Who's going to score?
Motherwell.
Cammy, would you, from what we're hearing, to Motherwell, they sound them more likely. Do you think Hearts could sting them though?
Yeah, listen, they've got goals in their team. When you've got Shankland on the pitch, I always think there's that one opportunity when you're going for it as well as Motherwell are doing, then you can get caught in this counter-attack, one set piece, anything can happen. But sounds as if it's a brilliant game to finish off. Both teams looking to score more, probably Motherwell dominant at the moment, but yeah, looking really good.
Right, let's wrap up this teaser as we head to a finish in these games.
The second half teaser.
With the scottishsun.co.uk/football for the best football news and opinion online.
And off we go. After starting my professional playing career at Bournemouth, I was managed by Davy Moyes and Danny Wilson. I played alongside Graham Alexander, Derek Collins and Steve Howard. I won English League One in the 04-05 season, and then I went on to manage players such as Chris Keatings and Lee Erwin. That means I am Stephen Robinson.
What a shout. Let's quickly do the leaderboard. In third place, it's Sack the Board. In second, Kieran Selleck. And first, Crazy Pony. Congratulations to you. You are the winner of the second half teaser. Thank you to Hugh Keevins as well. You two over there, what, shows you're working. How'd you got there?
Roger Hannah text me.
Okay.
I love that.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Roger Hannah, I'm coming for you.
Has that not been an honest cheat?
Yeah, I don't mind that.
Right,
I
usually I get it. But I was
Is it because you couldn't work out how to lie? You couldn't work out where you were?
No, I couldn't.
He was preoccupied by, I think it was, who scored the goal there? Was it Burnley or Brentford? One of the two.
Is Roger still up in Dundee trying to unplug his car?
Yeah, no, it broke down last
Roger Hannah, you're in our bad books, but we've got one of these.
Goal flashes with M&D Green Pharmacy.
It's for Dundee. 3-1 against St Mirren. You thought you might have had a winner in the top of the table clash there, but it's Dundee. What a win for them. Wesley with a great curling shot. Dave Galloway says the keeper had no chance, and St Mirren condemned to another defeat, Cammy.
Yeah, again, it's damaging for them because I think Stephen Robinson would go up there looking to certainly take points from the game. Wouldn't have thought his team would go down to a defeat, but Dundee, it's massive for them. This is a huge win. As I say, Stephen Presley's had moments in his tenure where he's managed to produce some sort of win that relieves that little bit of pressure, and I think this is a big win because it's a team that's in and around them, jump them up a few places, and they'll feel better about themselves tonight.
St Mirren, last 6 games, 5 losses, 1 draw, 1 point from 18.
Awful. Yeah. Yep, it's not good.
Daz, is that a case of their eyes are on the cup, or what, are they just not getting the rub of the green? We know about the VAR decisions. We saw McGregor's 95th minute belter last Saturday night. What's happening there? What's going wrong?
I don't think it's their eyes are on the cup, because you would think that the players are playing for cup places, which would give you that extra bit of spark in your game and thinking, right, I'm going to make sure that I'm a pick here when it comes round to Hampden against Celtic. They're just in a poor run. Things are going against them a little bit. We know that they're a good side, they're well organised, but they're slowly but surely dropping down that league table.
Yeah, they really are. So it looks like that's going to be 3 points wrapped up for Dundee. They're 3-1 up on St Mirren with just a few minutes to play. We are into stoppage time of Motherwell against Hearts. It's been a really good second half. 0-0 though, it remains. Will we get a winner? And of course, in the Scottish Cup, many teams are going out, many going through, and a couple going to extra time. One man who's happy that a game is not going to extra time is David Friel. It's full time at the Excelsior.
It's full time, Gabs. Airdrie 4, Hamilton 0. What a result for Airdrie. A Scottish Cup stroll in the end. They were absolutely ruthless in the second half, but a really worrying day for Accies. They collapsed in the second half of this derby. Lewis McGrattan got 2, Ewan Henderson, Chris Mockery also scored for Airdrie, who could have had 7 or 8 in the end. It was an absolute romp. They were basically in the first half. You wondered if the chances would come back to haunt them, but they didn't. 2 minutes after the restart, it was 1-0. Lewis McGrattan pouncing a loose pass, raced forward, smashed a brilliant finish into the corner. 55 minutes, it was 2-0. Cole McKinnon released Chris Mockery. Aki's claim for offside. The flag didn't go up. The Airdrie striker finished it off. 3 minutes later, it was 3-0. Xander Hutton really rash with a tackle on Mockery. Referee Duncan Nicholson pointed to the spot. Ewan Henderson produced probably the most casual penalty you'll ever see. Rolled his shot into the bottom corner. Airdrie were so good in the second half. Henderson could have added a few more himself. He hit the bar. Airdrie kept pushing. It was McGrattan who did add the fourth goal. Smith made a terrific save after a short corner routine, but Lewis McGrattan fired in from close range. He got man of the match, but every single Airdrie player did their job today. Really impressive stuff from Alan Taylor-Sinclair's side. Full time, Airdrie 4, Hamilton 0.
David Friel, you go home, your wife will be happy. Gordon DL, I thought you'd be annoyed at it, but you're happy over there with everything else going on, I take it, yeah?
Yeah, I thought Airdrie were just a little bit too strong at home. If they'd been away from home, then different matter. But it's a good result for Airdrie, especially when they're sitting down the bottom of the Championship. It's nice to get a cup run, keeps everything alive in the club, exciting, looking forward to the next draw. So a good result, good day's work from the Airdrieonians.
We're into 3-minute stoppage time at Fir Park. Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. About 2 minutes left to play, according to Fraser Wishart. 4 added at Dens. It's Dundee 3, St Mirren 1. That's a massive 3 points for Stephen Presley's side. What does it mean for St Mirren, though? We will find out very shortly. Cammy, 2 minutes left in this game. Hearts starting to go forward a little bit, according to Fraser here. Are they going to try and nick it, or if you're Derek McInnes, do you stick or twist?
No, I think you would try and nick it. Again, they'll be sensible in their approach to it. They'll not leave us all open at the back, but if they can manage to conjure up one opportunity, one set piece, when you've got Shankland on the pitch, you try and get the ball towards him, because he can make things happen for you.
Yeah, we will find out.
Paper hankies into extra time, Stranraer.
Oh, that's a nightmare, isn't it?
Will they be annoyed, Daz, that they've got to be in Stranraer for an extra couple of hours?
Oh, mate, they'll be loving the fact they're still in the cup just now, but you would rather be a little bit closer.
Aye,
Stranraer.
That road down there.
Partick Thistle 2.
Oh, there's our boy Mark Wilson flying the flag for all the good men in here. 4-0, Partick Thistle 2, Alex Samuel in the 93rd minute. The Jags are going through to the 4th round of the Scottish Cup, where the big boys await. Who do we want him to play next round?
Celtic or Rangers.
Celtic or Rangers, simple.
Yeah, just for the money side of it. Look, they're never going to get to finals or anything like that, but money is up.
What it might do is allow him a little bit of budget in January. So I think he'd be looking for that sort of draw as well, because it might just allow him to add 1 or 2 players that can get him over the line.
If Mark Wilson and Alec Ray go to Celtic Park, Alec Ray gets pelters. If Mark Wilson and Alec Ray go to Ibrox, Mark Wilson gets pelter.
Oh, that would just be Gordon DL. Never mind the fans there, right?
4 defeats in a row at Firhill. Mark and Alec both get pelters.
Roger Hanna asking if he needs to keep the chippy open in Girvan for the paper hankies on the way back up.
Oh yes,
there's a little upset that's came on the screen there. Again, a last minute goal.
Cameron Juniors, Dean Watson, 91st minute. They've beaten Edinburgh City.
Imagine the celebrations there, because they'll be looking forward to the draw if they can get that one over the line. That's a big story if they get a big club.
Absolutely magic. 102 shocks. Kieran Shanks with an equaliser for Peterhead against Morton, 95th minute. That's your mate going to extra time as well. That's up there.
And they're down to 10 men.
Oh, they're down
Morton
to 10 men as well.
Morton to 10 men, yeah. That could be a bad day for them.
They'll have to keep that food warm up the stairs at Peterhead, won't they? That's a bit of a nightmare for them.
We just got...
What kind of... I can't get into it now. I'm thinking, I'm starting to get hungry. What kind of food is it? I'll find out after this, alright? Be better than the pies we had at half time anyway. It's full time at Fir Park. Fraser Wishart.
It is full time. Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. You can hear both sets of fans on their feet applauding. I don't think many would have left this game early because you couldn't take your eyes off the action. You won't find many better 0-0 games than this. Two teams in good form going for the kick-off, and especially in the second half there were many chances at both ends for somebody to be the hero and score the winner. Weren't many chances in the first half at either end. Neither keeper properly tested. Half chances for Maswanisi and just for Motherwell, who also had a Callum Hendry goal disallowed by VAR for offside. The other end, the Milne header looked onto the top of the net. Devlin fired over from 20 yards before the break, but it was a decent match to watch despite there being few chances. But the second half just upped in standard and in tempo. Hearts especially at the start of the second half. A couple of chances. Kizarida's shot deflected into the side net with Ward beaten, and from the corner Finlay header was just over, but Motherwell should have taken the lead a couple of minutes later on 51 minutes. Tawanda Maswanisi with the cross to the back post. Elijah just came in, free header. He headed the ball down but straight at Schwoloff. A good save by the goalkeeper with his feet, but the winger should really have scored. Then Hearts but having much better the second half. Pressure on the Wards goal, Motherwell defending well. A series of corners from one of those. Lawrence Shanklin at the back post looked a header back across goal. It was going in, but a brilliant clearance by Callum Hendry on the line, facing his own goal. He hooked the ball away. Hearts claiming the ball was over the line, but it wasn't given. A minute later at the other end, Maswanisi had the ball in the net, and it was given offside. This time it was clearly offside, and from then on it really was Motherwell more likely to get the opening goal and perhaps the winner. Both teams making substitutions. Just had another great chance. Through and goal inside the box. I thought he took one touch too many. It was on his left foot. He ended up shooting with his weaker right foot, and Schwoloff was quickly off his line to block. Then the big keeper had a couple of excellent saves. The first one at full stretch, high to his left to push away a Fadinger shot, which was going into the top corner. Then a couple of minutes later, he had to move smartly to his high to his right to push a deflected Slattery free kick over the bar. Have to say, there's always something happening here. A great 90 minutes to watch, and you can see why these two teams are at the top end of the table and in good form. Great 90 minutes to watch. Full time here, Motherwell 0, Hearts 0.
Brilliant. Thank you to Fraser Wisham. We've got full time as well at Dens Park. Dave Galloway.
Dundee 3, St Mirren 1. St Mirren took early control of this game, getting plenty balls into the box, but without managing to capitalise. Fraser's header deflected over, and Lundulu stabbed across wide from the left-hand side. Dundee offering very little threat at this stage, and Saints took a deserved lead after 27 minutes. It was a howler by Clark Robertson, giving the ball straight to Mandron, and he wasted no time in lashing it into the bottom corner of the net from the edge of the box. 2 minutes later, though, it was all square. Danda hit one from some distance, and the ball was deflected in for an OG by the leg of Gogic. This gave the hosts something to build on, and it was 2-1 in 39 minutes with a quite fantastic strike from Wright, who went past his man, then really let fly from the edge of the box. His powerful shot going in off the inside of the post. Saints started the second half strongly, and Tanzer's really dangerous cross right into the goal mouth was scrambled clear. At the other end, Congreve headed Ugan's cross just wide. The visitors were really pressing, and Richardson shot over from the edge of the box, with Dundee's Murray seeing his shot comfortably saved. Play flowing from end to end without serious threat to either goal, but as the full-time whistle beckoned in the 87th minute, it was 3-1 to the Dark Blues, and a goal well worth waiting for. What a magnificent strike by Wesley with a curling shot into the far corner from the edge of the box. In stoppage time, Saints Ayunga fired an effort off the underside of the bar, but it was too little too late. Dundee then end their awful run as they look to climb the table. A huge result for them here at Dens Park. However, the Buddies, they really must somehow try to find a way to get going again, try and build some momentum with a cup final fast approaching. It's not looking great for them at all. It ended here, Dundee 3, St Mirren 1.
Yes, thank you to the top team around the grounds. And now it's over to you. Get your calls in 0141 951 1025. It's the open line, 5 until 6. We'll be live streaming on YouTube as well if you want to tune in and watch us. What about those results today? Motherwell 0, Hearts 0. Who's it a better point for? Is it a better point for Motherwell, Hearts, or perhaps Celtic or Rangers watching on? What about Dundee? Can Stephen Presley get fans back on side with a result like that? And Stephen Robinson, what's going on with this team in the league? They've had good performances. They've not had the rub of the green from VAR, but they are struggling and languishing at the bottom of the table with that League Cup final coming up in just 2 weekends' time. Perhaps you want to talk about Celtic or Rangers. Wilfred Nancy expected to be announced within the next 48 hours as Celtic's new manager. And we, of course, know there are big games tomorrow. Celtic at Easter Road, Rangers at home against Falkirk, looking to make it 5 wins from 5 in the league under Danny Rule. Or maybe you want to talk about the Scotland draw. Are you New York? Are you Mexico City? Are you Toronto? Are you San Francisco? Let us know. Give us a call, whatever's on your mind. 0141 951 1025. We'll be live streaming if you want to watch it as well, and we'll take your calls next.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, want to bet? I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
It's official, we're the littlest on price, which have crowned us the cheapest supermarket this October, beating all 7 other supermarkets, including their loyalty prices. So you know you can kickstart Christmas for less. Lidl, more to value. Findings based on independent price comparisons of 70 items by which every day in October 2025.
Are you one of the 1.5 million UK customers that have used MedExpress for your healthcare journey? If not, accessing treatments for sexual health is now easier than ever. You don't need to visit your GP or pharmacy. Just complete a short online consultation to find the right treatment for you. We'll send your treatment directly to your door, delivered to you in discreet packaging with ongoing support from our experienced UK-based medical team. Take the first step towards managing your health concerns with confidence. Visit medexpress.co.uk to learn more.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, want to bet? I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
The games are over. The talking begins. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
Good evening and welcome to Clyde One Super Scoreboard on the day where Motherwell have drawn 0-0 with Hearts at the top of the table. It was a great game, but neither side could find the breakthrough. It means that Hearts are 5 points clear at the top of the Premiership table, but crucially now, Celtic have 2 games in hand. One of them, of course, is tomorrow. It's at home, on the road at Easter Road against Hibs, whilst Rangers will be at home against Falkirk. Danny Rule looking to make it 5 wins from 5 in the Premiership. But we want to hear from you. We've just had all of the 3 o'clock games, plenty of Scottish Cup action as well in the third round. The fourth round starting to take shape before the big clubs drop into it. We want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Perhaps you're a Scotland fan looking ahead to the draw, which is in just 6 days' time. We'll find out our World Cup fate. Maybe you're a Hearts fan. Do you think that you're still champions-elect? Hugh Keevins will have his say on that in a moment. Or you're a Motherwell fan. Was that another impressive attacking display from your men? Or Celtic Rangers supporters? Let us know what you think ahead of tomorrow's games. Hugh Keevin, your Bankies, though, just let it slip in the last minute.
Well, tragic. No, but it's not. They're in extra time, so there's still time left.
No, they're done.
They conceded
2-1. It went 2-1. It was 1 each. Estrenoir scored 2-1.
You left the
sorry to break the news, Hugh.
Television actually said extra time being played.
Certainly, what we seen was 2-1, but you might be right, Hugh. There might still be the opportunity.
Anyway, Hearts are still champions-elect. I cannot deselect.
He's right.
Is he right? They're still in it. Lovely, Hugh.
You've got to be happy with that.
I cannot deselect Hearts because we've got a 5-point lead and massive game. Interested to hear from the Celtic fans. Easter Road tomorrow. Martin O'Neill's last hurrah will Wilfried Nancy be there, as I think he should be, to see a team that he will then manage against Dundee next Wednesday night? So, interesting topic for the Celtic fans there.
Yep.
Yeah, again, tomorrow, there's some great fixtures tomorrow. Celtic away to Hibs is a very interesting one to see how that'll play out. Rangers, can they respond? Who's
this?
Who's this? Wait there. Oh, there he is.
Sorry, boy.
I'm not going to ask. I'm not even going to ask.
He's out of breath as well, which is a concern for me.
I went a jog.
Let's not go there.
No.
Definitely think of your career. You're a young man, Gabs.
Pretend those
let's
5
go.
minutes didn't happen. Right, okay. Gordon Dalziel, what was the pick of those 3 o'clock games for you and why?
I think Dundee, if I'm honest with you. I know Motherwell was a highlight, but Dundee was a result for me. Especially 2 teams under pressure, especially at home. You've got to get a result, and well done to them.
You take your breath back. I'll finish this one off. No, I think Dundee, that's a massive result for me. Again, what it does I think it allows Stephen Presley a little bit of breathing space. It's a big result, as I said before. He manages to get these big results that almost just brings the Dundee fans back on his side a little bit. But what it does, that ramps up the pressure for St Mirren, because they're in a really poor position for where they've been over the last few years, and it'll be interesting to hear from Stephen Robinson what he made of the game today. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I spoke to him yesterday morning, and he just felt this team were putting in good performances, but they've not got the results that they deserve. And it's a 3-1 loss at Dundee today. They were actually, incidentally, the last team that they beat. Hugh, we're just looking at the table there. St Mirren could be bottom tomorrow.
Yeah, the scenario is that if Kilmarnock get a point against Dundee United, the game that kicks off in half an hour's time, and Livy beat Aberdeen, St Mirren go bottom. So, you've got 2 games of football that have to be played, and that has to be the outcome, a point at least for Kilmarnock. 3 points for Livy, and St Mirren would then go bottom. But, we keep talking about the good players that St Mirren have, and I repeat, they've got good players who don't get good results.
Yep.
And their next fixture is difficult as well. They're away at Pittodrie against Aberdeen. Look, I'm quite surprised, because I think there would have been a little bit of something about St Mirren with the fact that they've got the cup final coming up. We've all been there before cup finals. You usually find that's your best form, because you want to be involved in that. For some reason, St Mirren have went the other way. They're not getting results. Steve Robinson could maybe come out and say, look, 1 or 2 things are going against us. We've been a bit unlucky with decisions. I can understand all that. But the end result is they've got to start picking up points.
And of course they've got that League Cup final against Celtic in just 2 weeks' time. That's where we're going to go now, though, Celtic. We have got Brian in still online. Brian, how are you doing this evening?
Absolutely fantastic. Hugh's champions-elect dropped 2 points. We've got 2 games in hand, Hugh, and believe me, that as I said to you on the radio the other night there, you weren't on, you are really so foolish when you come out with these things. You lose the plot because you've got some agenda I don't know against. You've never kicked a ball in your life, and you really know that little about Celtic. You don't even watch them. The boys went out there on Thursday night, and my supporters bus went 18 hours on a journey to Feyenoord, and all they heard was, "Didn't bother. You shouldn't bother." I mean, do you have any apology for them? No, you don't. You come on here and you're still going down the road of champions-elect. You said the same thing at the beginning, the very beginning of the season. Hearts would win the League Cup. Well, we're playing against St Mirren, and then you're saying Celtic's warning Celtic against a team that's second bottom. Why can't you just listen back to your own stuff and stop that?
Well, let's hear what Hugh has to say. Let's give you say Hugh won't apologise. What will you say, Hugh?
No one should apologise for having an opinion. My role here, Brian, and it's been a 40-year-long role, whether you like it or not, and you once questioned my mental health on this programme, so I've risen above that as well. My role here is to offer an opinion in a forthright manner. That's the nature of the programme, and in keeping with, I believe, a large percentage of Celtic supporters I don't think anyone saw that coming, particularly after the St Mirren game last Saturday. But in response, I've said I congratulate Martin O'Neill and congratulate the players who were superb, including my favourite Yang. And I have also said the players owe Martin O'Neill a performance tomorrow because he has come in and done a spectacular job following the Brendan Rodgers fiasco. So, Brian, I have nothing to apologise for. My role here is to be forthright, to offer an opinion, sometimes right, sometimes wrong. And I shall continue in that vein.
You still there, Brian?
Yes, I'm saying mostly wrong. This is the thing.
But it's just an opinion, Brian. He's paid to give his opinion. He's going to give his opinion. And is it fair to say you don't watch Celtic games, as Brian said, or do you?
Well, I don't watch any games. I'm in here all of the time. So the last time I went to a game, it was a Celtic game. I took my grandson to see Celtic at Partick Thistle.
Mm-hmm.
And I repeat, Brian has a kind of fixation about me. You know, he calls in periodically, and as I say, one night he was desperately rude and questioned my mental health. So I shall continue in this vein, and if I get more wrong than right, then so be it.
You still there, Brian?
Yes, I'd like to reply to that. As Hugh has done many times, what I said that night was tongue-in-cheek. If you can't take a joke, then so be it.
Jokes about mental health are jokes are simply not funny.
Brian, you still there? That could be us.
Brian's gone.
Brian's gone.
Brian's gone.
Well, Hugh, you're always going to give an opinion, and we know that many times you're wrong, but we're all wrong. And as you say, you didn't think Celtic were going to get a result, and you were forthright in that opinion, but not many people thought Celtic were going to get a result, including many Celtic fans.
Martin O'Neill, the day before the game, spoke about the nature of the opposition, Feyenoord in their own ground. And, you know, Martin O'Neill himself was not wary, but apprehensive, and certainly not overconfident. And I repeat, I praise Martin O'Neill and the Celtic players. It was a result that many people did not see coming, and they were outstanding.
They were. It's so rare for Celtic to get a win away from home in Europe, be it Champions League or Europa League. It's so many years, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can understand it's okay after a result, because I think that when Celtic went behind 1-0, I think even the big Celtic fans were thinking, oh, this could be a long night. But you've got to give them all the credit in the world. I thought they were excellent on the night. I said earlier in the programme, timing of goals. They got the goal just before half-time, gave them a massive lift getting in there, and they were worthy of their win. Celtic are capable of those results with the squad and the players and the quality they've got. I think a lot it comes down to Martin O'Neill and his coaching staff as well. They set up absolutely brilliantly. Surprised us with maybe one or two selections, but at the end of the day, it's all about getting the 3 points, and it keeps them in that Europa League. You know, it keeps them right there, a bit of interest. I know that everybody highlights about the difficult games that they've come up, Bologna, Roma, Bologna and teams like that. But at Celtic Park, and they showed the other night there, they're capable of winning.
But again, you touch on it, that you look at the stats, and before the game, yes, away from home, Celtic haven't been particularly great in getting results. And I think Daz is right, that a lot of the credit for me goes down to Martin O'Neill, the way he set his team up on Thursday night. I thought they were excellent throughout the game, and especially the reaction from going behind, because it's quite easily, you're away from home, you can collapse as a team, but they didn't do that. They dug in, they got goals at the right time, but they fully deserved their goals as well. And it was a fantastic victory. But certainly before the game, looking at it, you wouldn't have particularly fancied Celtic to go over and get 3 points because of the St Mirren performance and the way that the games have been going for Celtic, and it's a difficult venue to go to, but you've got to give them credit. They went and got the job done.
Yeah, I was at De Kuip a few years ago, and it was when Celtic had Lagerbielke sent off early, and you know, it's an intimidating atmosphere, and it is not to be underrated, that result, even though it's not the same Feyenoord. Arne Slot was manager back then, of course, now down He's a Premier League champion Liverpool. But Hugh, looking forwards, how does that result, as well as what we've just seen from Hearts, do for Celtic going into tomorrow?
I think Celtic, on the back of Feyenoord, will travel to Easter Road in an optimistic frame of mind, as will the Celtic support. And if they can get the performances out of Yang, Hatate, Maeda, McGregor as ever, the inspiration, and Trusty and Scales, who have formed a decent partnership in the central defence, if they can get the performances out of the players, then they'll travel there in good heart. As for Heart of Midlothian, they're 5 points ahead, but Celtic do have game in hand after tomorrow's match at Easter Road. So it's all very lively. And what is most interesting of all, Gabriel, is that after tomorrow, Wilfried Nancy will be in charge of Celtic. And we know for sure that he has to hit the ground running. He has to play Dundee at Celtic Park. He must win that game. Hearts then go to Celtic Park a week tomorrow, and what a fixture that will be. So it's all bubbling away beautifully.
It certainly is. It certainly is. We'll get back onto Celtic in a moment. They are 5 points behind league leaders Hearts. But some breaking news. John Rankin has stepped down as Hamilton Academical manager, essentially due to a lot of the off-the-field issues. We will hear from
you.
Yeah.
Earlier on, it's almost as if these Hamilton players know something.
I've been told something, yeah.
And they've collapsed.
We'll hear from him very, very shortly. We've got the interview. David Friel has just spoken to him. He's been told to his face by John Rankin on the interview, and we will have it very shortly. But that is big breaking news. They've lost 4-0 to Airdrie. And Cammy, John Rankin stepped down.
Yeah, it's such a shame. John's a brilliant guy as well. I think he's a very, very good manager. Again, I spoke about how well they'd been doing on the pitch with all these problems off the pitch. So it just seems as if something's come to a head that he feels as if he has to step away from the club and move himself away. But that's a real shame and a massive blow for the club, a huge blow, because as I said, I really rate him as a manager. I think he's a top guy and he was having a good season as well. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens with the club next.
Yeah. I met John coming back from my holidays, and I was discussing what the season's got to be like, and he was very honest about it, and he was telling me how difficult things were in the situation, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And I've got to say, I feel sorry not just for John but for Hamilton Accies fans as well. They have to travel out to Hamilton to support their own team. It's absolutely ridiculous now, because of what's happened, not because of what's happened today, but another big blow is they've lost a young good manager.
Yep. And you're now talking about a club with just football players. There are no directors. There is no chairman. He stood down a fortnight ago. There's ongoing problems with the SFA. They are very much a club in crisis, and John Rankin was the glue holding them together, and now he's gone. Very, very perilous times for the Accies.
Yeah, certainly. David Friel saying that John Rankin told the players, then told reporters to their face, said players got paid late on last night. We're waiting to hear from John Rankin. But yeah, he has stepped down as Hamilton manager. So that's big news. And we will keep discussing that once we can hear from him. Just quickly, back to Celtic. Wilfried Nancy coming in. You're talking about it, Hugh. It's all bubbling along nicely. It just seems like with Scottish football at the moment, the big stories do not stop coming.
No. With everything, Celtic and Rangers changing manager in the same season, unprecedented. Scotland qualifying for a World Cup for the first time in 28 years, momentous for the country, and Hearts at the top of the table. Martin O'Neill leaves tomorrow. Wilfried Nancy comes in. It's utterly fascinating, and Rangers at Falkirk, playing Falkirk tomorrow. 4 wins in a row for Danny Rule in domestic football. He has to keep that run going. Rangers have to be aware of their domestic situation. 1 point in 15 in the Europa League. Forget all about that. That's a non-starter. So again tomorrow at Ibrox, Rangers under critical assessment against a Falkirk side who are coming off the back of a 3-0 win over Dundee United.
Yeah, well, let's quickly hear from John Rankin. I think we've got it now. John Rankin after stepping down as Aki's boss.
I'm delighted with my players. I'm delighted with the supporters and the backing that we've had. They're no longer my players. I've taken a decision just now. I'm going to step away. I've not informed anybody yet. I've just spoke to the players. These are the first guys I've spoken to. The reason being, yesterday I'm chasing payment from the club for the players. These players have got young families, mortgages, Christmas coming ahead, things to look forward to, and they run through the mill for me. I've got a player in that pitch with a broken hand. I've got a player in that pitch needing stitches in his ankle. I've got a 40-year-old guy sitting on the bench who's come out of retirement to try and give us everything they've got. But they need to know that anxious, that nervous energy, that insecurity that they have last night, that feeling of not knowing if there's money going to hit the bank or not. And I know there's guys within the club working tirelessly to try and make sure that money lands. I've got a young family myself, and that worry cannot continue. If I need to go and dig holes, dig a road, paint lines, paint holes, I'll do that. But what I can't be a front and ask people to follow me when I don't know which direction I'm going in.
Very emotional there. Yeah. Very emotional. You can understand why, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. A real strong interview from John there, and you can hear in his voice the emotion coming from him, the frustration. And it is, listen, these are real people. John, again, mentioned families, Christmas coming up. The players' heads would be all over the place. You've not had your payment. People have mortgages, they have rent to pay, they could get kicked out of their homes, and they're not just looking after themselves, they've got families. So it's really, really worrying, concerning and disappointing to see in Scottish football, to be perfectly honest, because as I say, I've been there as a player. I've been at clubs where the administration has loomed over clubs, and it does play a part, because again, it's not just you're not just an individual, you have families to take care of, and you can tell John's really hurting there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a brave decision from John as well, because John will be in the same boat. I don't think John's one of these guys that could retire. You heard him saying, look, I'm prepared to go and dig holes to earn a living for my family. But he's, first and foremost, he's looked at the players, he's looked at the situation, he's not happy with it. And for John to step down as well, just before career, Hamilton Accies are in a desire. They're in a dreadful position just now.
And on a day where we're talking about all the good in Scottish football with Motherwell Hearts, you know, two teams outside of the big two in Glasgow with over 10,000 fans there, this is just a really sad moment for Scottish football. Sad for John Rankin and for Hamilton Accies, who are, of course, out of the cup as well. Lost 4-0 to Airdrie today. OK, we'll talk about more of that next and build up to Celtic and Rangers as well. And we'll speak to Laurie next.
The big toy event is in store now at Lidl, with over 100 toys for every age. Go classic with our famous wooden toys. Or get your hands on Bluey, Barbie and more, like Hot Wheels for just $1.49. Lidl, more to value. Limited offer subject to availability, selected stores, GB only.
I'm Richard Simcock. I'm a cancer specialist, and I work with a team that always do their best for all of our patients. But we can't be there around the clock to support them. And that's why I recommend the Macmillan Online Community. It's a safe, anonymous online forum open 24 hours a day, and everyone there knows what it's like to have cancer. As a doctor, I do everything I can, but I know that when I can't be there, they can be.
Search Macmillan Online Community.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely, as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.
Buzzing for the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, want to bet? I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Betfred. 18+, gambleaware.org.
A Rayo original podcast.
Hiya, it's Gemma Atkinson. And you know what they say? You should never work with animals, kids, or your Spanish partner of almost 8 years.
8 happy years.
Oh, yeah. Join me and Gorka on our brand new podcast, Lost in Translation, where we lift the lid on family life and our perfectly imperfect relationship.
Listen to Lost in Translation now.
On the Rayo app, Apple, Amazon, Music, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
After the action, it's your reaction. 0141 951 1025. Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line.
Yes, Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line. We want to hear from you. 0141 951 1025. Phone in now and let us know your thoughts. Maybe you're a Celtic fan and you want to talk about Wilfred Nancy coming in. The big game tomorrow at Easter Road. Can you cut Hearts' lead at the top after they drop points? Maybe you're a Rangers supporter. Danny Rule going for 5 in 5 in the league. Or perhaps you are a Jambo or a Motherwell fan. Maybe even an Accies fan after the news that John Rankin has stepped down after this afternoon's 4-0 loss to Airdrie in the Scottish Cup. He has stepped down and gave an emotional interview, which we will play again towards the end. We do have a Celtic fan on the line. Laurie, how you doing, Laurie?
I'm doing fine. Good evening, panel.
Good evening.
Good evening. Laurie, what's your point this evening?
My point this evening is that on the eve of what would appear to be Martin O'Neill's final game in charge tomorrow at Easter Road, I'd like to place on record my gratitude that he has restored some stability in what has been a very turbulent and chaotic last few weeks. I like the way the man conducts himself. He does so with an air of humility and with a self-deprecating sense of humour. And I wish him well. The new guy will be coming into the building on Monday, Wilfred Nancy. If I'm being honest with you, I view that appointment with some trepidation, to be perfectly truthful. I don't know, as far as I'm concerned, he's been appointed. It's more a leap of faith on the part of Dermot Desmond than predicated on his record, because I don't think it would be unfair for me to say that the guy's CV doesn't read as a glittering resume. But I hope I'm wrong, and we'll get behind him, as, of course, all Celtic fans will.
Yeah, sorry, Laura, are you still going there?
Oh, I'm a season ticket holder. I won't be at Easter Road tomorrow. I go to the home games.
Yeah. We'll dissect that. Let's first of all start with the Martin O'Neill stuff. Is it being underrated, the job he's done? Given it was stale under Brendan Rodgers towards the end, and to win all of his games except that one away at Midtjylland, who were top of the Europa League. You know, could anyone else have come in and done such a smooth job as well with all the turbulence off the field, Hugh?
I think back to the circumstances. Hearts defeat Celtic at Tynecastle. It's a very, very bad day. On the Monday night, around 10 o'clock, news breaks that Brendan Rodgers is out, and there then follows that statement, which everyone remembers, from Dermot Desmond, where he is hypercritical of Brendan Rodgers. And then the news that Martin O'Neill, who had not managed any football club for 6 years, who was 73 years old, was going to come back and have to steady the ship. And he did so straight away with a convincing win at Celtic Park over Falkirk. And he has continued with one blip, which was Midtjylland. The job he's done to calm troubled waters has been terrific. And that's why I say the players and the fans owe him one tomorrow at Easter Road. One last wave in the traditional Martin O'Neill style. They owe him a Rotterdam performance in Edinburgh.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with everything Hugh said there. I think Martin O'Neill's been brilliant. In the sense that I think that if, Brendan Rodgers left, and usually you would look at John Kennedy, and I think you could rely on John to step up to be interim manager and steady the ship. He'd been there that long. He knew the club inside out. But John obviously left with Brendan, and it left them that big gap. And for me, they had to fill that. and no better than Martin O'Neill. And Hugh's quite right, he's been absolutely brilliant for him.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Again, Laurie used the word stability, and I think that's what it brought. As soon as the phone was picked up, Martin O'Neill accepted the opportunity to come back up the road. I think that just brings stability to a really unsteady situation that Celtic were in at that moment in time. A lot of big games coming up. Again, it's not just managing players, it's managing the club, managing the press, the media, everything that comes with managing Celtic Football Club. And Martin O'Neill can do that with his eyes closed, to be honest. You see the way he conducts himself with the press. I think he's very, very good. He's a likeable character. But also he's very honest. He's very honest with his team and his performances and the way the team plays. And he's managed to get results. He's managed to do that. So he's done a fantastic job.
Let's see if he finishes with a win at Easter Road tomorrow. But if we're moving on to Laurie's other point about Wilfred Nancy coming in, he said trepidation. It's not a glittering CV. It doesn't necessarily boast a great record. Do we think that's fair? When you look at the years he spent in the MLS, he's won the MLS Cup. He's been named MLS Coach of the Year. Is there much more he could have done in that league with the club he's at?
I think Laurie is entitled to his use of the word trepidation, because everyone immediately says Ange Postecoglou. But Ange Postecoglou, prior to joining Celtic, had been successful in Australia and had managed the Australian national team in a World Cup.
Yeah.
Therefore, his CV was stronger looking than that of Wilfred Nancy. But an assumption has been made that he will be Ange Postecoglou Mark II. No one knows. Starting with Dundee on Wednesday night, the only way that Wilfred Nancy offers evidence in support of his appointment or in criticism of his appointment results on the park, the same as every other football manager.
Yeah, we've also got Jerry in Kilwinning on the line. Jerry, you want to talk about Nancy as well, is that right?
Hi, Gabriel. Yeah, I do, but very quickly, I know Hugh got some stick at the start of the show, but I'm going to have to add to it, Hugh. How's that Bojan Majowski prediction going? It just remind me, he was going to score all these amazing goals and be the game changer for the Ibrox mob. Just how many goals has he scored, just out of curiosity?
I would think it's nothing.
No.
Oh, right, yeah. That was a very good prediction. I know. I'm sorry to bring it up, Hugh, but I was.
Everyone's coming for you today, Hugh.
Listen, you're used to it. Sarcasm. I've 40 years worth of sarcasm. It's not as if it's coming as a shock to me.
No, Jerry, come on, give us your thoughts on Nancy.
I will say that to you. I do respect you. You know, you've written some great Celtic books sometimes, so I do respect you. But here's the thing: it's not really about Nancy so much. I have my reservations about, like Laurie. The issue for me is the Celtic board appointing him. They use Brendan Rodgers as a shield. People forget, if Brendan Rodgers had not stepped away, this Celtic board wouldn't have had the guts to sack him, because he was their shield from all the criticism. They'd have quite happily let Brendan Rodgers continue. They've been happy to let Martin O'Neill hold the fort. And Martin O'Neill's done a fantastic job. I've got so much respect for Martin O'Neill. But it's pretty clear after a week or so that Martin did not want to take the job even till the end of the season from all the things he was saying. So now they've gone and got this guy, Nancy, who, by the way, is still not official yet, so we don't know if that could go in Eddie Howe way. But let's say he's going to come in on Wednesday, and this is a guy who, as I say, he doesn't have anywhere near the CV that Ange Postecoglou has, but this is the board's guy. This is Dermot Desmond, this is Michael Nicholson, this is Peter Lowe, this is Brian Wilson, this is all the other charlatans that at Celtic board have been there too long, 25 years, leeching off Celtic, making all this money and contributing nothing. This is their decision. This goes belly up. This is on them, absolutely. There'll be nowhere more to hide for this board. There isn't anywhere to hide for this board anyway, when you get idiots like Kendall Roy Desmond making those stupid speeches, and Dermot Desmond's making stupid speeches from his golf club, and all the other nonsense, Peter Lowe telling fans to behave. Why don't you behave, Peter, and get the hell out of our club? That would be a nice start.
Right, this is what Wilfred Nancy is walking into. This ongoing disharmony, Celtic supporters and the hierarchy at the club. It will not be helpful. All I can say is that Wilfred Nancy will never have known anything like this in the MLS. Never.
No, certainly not.
This will be suffocating for him. But the AGM had to be abandoned. It was then conducted online. The board were voted back in en masse. No one's going to get the sack from the board. Dermot Desmond will continue to run the club. So, you know, it's up to fans like Jerry whether they continue to support Celtic or stay away. But the fact of the matter is the board will remain in place. Dermot Desmond and his son Ross will remain in place. Wilfred Nancy will be in place by Wednesday against Dundee. And it's up to the Celtic fans. You either accept that or take another course of action, but nothing is going to change.
I think in the case of the manager, I totally agree. When you look at Celtic's manager, you think, okay, it doesn't excite you too much because we don't know that much about him. Obviously, we always judge the league he's coming from, the success he's had. But for me, I think you've got to give him every opportunity. Doesn't mean to say, I totally agree with the Postecoglou thing. I would never match the two together. Postecoglou is a far more experienced manager. Going on to the board, and I know what Jerry's saying, and look, I'm not sticking up for the board, but this is the same board that brought Postecoglou, the same board that brought Brendan Rodgers.
Correct.
And how many trophies have they won? I know that there's a big divide between the supporters and the board, and I'm on the supporter side at times because I thought the transfer window was shocking. The AGM I thought was shocking as well, to be fair, and I'm not just picking on one side. So it'll be interesting to see what this new manager brings.
Just on that, supporters are right to have their gripes with the board for such a long list of things. But as you say, the board appointed Ange Postecoglou, Brendan Rodgers twice. They brought Martin O'Neill back in. They've won 13 of the last 14 league titles. So the board have got it right very often with the managers when you look at Celtic recently.
I'd like to ask Jerry, what does he propose to do? Because nothing is going to change. Absolutely nothing. And
Hugh, you said that you're a student, you're a history of Scottish football, student of history. 30 years ago, before I was even born, people would have said the same thing with the Kellys and the Whites. Nothing can change. The board will never go. But the fans organised, the fans became activists, and they got the board out.
yeah, but forgive me, by your own admission, you weren't born, and I was dealing with that story for this radio station, and the essential difference is that Celtic were in deep financial trouble. The club was hours away from foreclosure. Hours away. Until Brian Dempsey and Fergus McCann got together with people like Willie Hawkey and Gerald Weisfeld, etc., etc. Celtic were millions of pounds in debt and on the verge of closing down. That's why it was easier for Fergus McCann to come in and sort everything out. You go on 31 years, Celtic are the richest club in Scotland, and they have a structure which doesn't allow for any change. The board is there and will not be changed. The de facto owner, the principal shareholder, Dermot Desmond, is there, and that will not change either. So the circumstances are entirely different unless someone comes in and makes Celtic an offer for the club.
It is interesting when you hear supporters questioning Dermot Desmond or whoever is making the decisions with the appointments. You can understand why they're angry and question him about so many things, but he has, when you look at the managerial success ratio, and if you just compare that to the managerial success at Rangers, how many have we seen come in the door, Rangers, we think, oh, it looks like he could be a good appointment, and it just doesn't work out. Every appointment is a gamble. It's the same with transfers. Every appointment is going to be a gamble. But with Wilfred Nancy, we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? We do have John on the line as well. John, you'd like to talk a bit about Celtic managers, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. Hi there, guys. It was more just an observation, I think, about the strength of Martin O'Neill and his qualities as a good old-fashioned football manager. He came into a team that, according to previous manager, was a Honda Civic. He looked at the strengths, he looked at the weaknesses, he set his team up per game, looking at the opposition, and changed his tactics, adjusted his tactics according to those parameters. The predecessor played this kind of horseshoe tactics, played that for 3 hours and never once tried to change anything. And I think that Martin O'Neill was a testament to the old style managers, Sean Dyche as well, people like that kind of Sam Allardyce, that play to what's in front of them. And some of these modern coaches should take a leaf out of their book and look at their style, looking at strengths, weaknesses. Is it 4-4-3? Is it 4-4-2? Is it 4-3-3? And they adapt it against injuries, the opposition, whatever. And I think that's where Martin O'Neill, and to be fair to Sean Maloney, that's where their strengths come in.
Yeah, but I would counter that, John, simply by saying Martin has done a terrific job, and when he was Celtic manager from 2000 to 2005, got them to a European final, will always be a Celtic icon. Brendan Rodgers, can I just say, contested 13 trophies as Celtic manager and won 11 of them. You simply cannot dismiss that as an irrelevance. It came to a very untidy, unfortunate end, but he won 11 of 13 trophies. He surely is deserving of some credit.
Yeah, listen, it was all about timing for me. I think Brendan had, obviously, the situation and the press conferences and that split between the recruitment and him and the board, and it was time for Brendan to move on. But you can't take away, and Hugh's quite right to point it out, you cannot take away his success. His success was absolutely brilliant at Celtic. 11 out of the 13, as Hugh's quite rightly says. Every time he turned up at Hampden for a cup final, you just imagined that he's got to win it. So you've got to give him a lot of credit for that. But I've loved the fact that, you know, watching Martin O'Neill over the last few weeks coming in, 73 years of age, still get that enthusiasm. Loved his press conference. He's had his time. He'll step aside now and the new manager comes in.
It is good to see, though, Cammy, that management is management.
Yep.
You could be any age, you know, you could come from wherever. At the end of the day, it's football, and people can take charge of games and make a difference on clubs.
He manages people. That's what he does, Martin O'Neill. He manages people, gets the best out of people, and probably makes them believe how good they can be, and again, I think it's a good mix between him and Sean Maloney. Sean Maloney will be the tactician on the training pitch. Obviously Martin will have a say in that, of course he will, but Martin will be there speaking to the guys in their ear, making them believe they're good players and going on that pitch with confidence. And I think that gets a little bit lost in modern day football. I do think it does, because certainly managers that I played under, the ones that were really personal to you, made you feel good going on the pitch, was the best ones for me. And I think he's brought that back to a lot of players, and that's why I think they've started to get results.
I think the sign of a very good manager is when you know your strength and you know your weaknesses, and you get the other people to do the stuff that you
100%.
Because if what was well highlighted, the semi-final against Rangers when it went to extra time, it was Sean Malone. Martin O'Neill took a step back.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Martin O'Neill does his job from day to day, and probably in that dressing room before they go on the pitch. But that's his strength, and he knows he's been brilliant at that throughout his years. That's why he's been so successful. But when it time to come to the tactic stuff and everything, he took a step back and he says, well, that's your strength, and that's the sign of a very good manager.
What I would say as well, the way the club is at the moment, we've just spoke about the unrest with the fans and the board and the non-connect that's there at this moment in time. He's handled that really, really well from a footballing point of view. Again, he's almost just put that to the side, made sure that Celtic are going along and getting results, and it'll be interesting with the new manager coming in. He'll have never seen the amount of scrutiny that he's going to get, the amount of pressure that he's going to be under. So they're all questions that he'll need to answer, and he can only answer them with getting results for the football team.
As Hugh said, Wilfred Nancy will never have experienced anything like he will when he arrives in Glasgow. We're expecting that in the next 48 hours, but of course first, Celtic will play at Hibs tomorrow lunchtime. We've got Rangers as well playing against Falkirk, and we can look back a bit more at today's games, with Motherwell drawing at Hearts dropping more points, just 1 win in 5 for the league leaders. Does it leave the door open for Glasgow's big two teams to try and close the gap? We'll have more calls next, and also hear from Stephen Robinson.
It's Clyde One Super Scoreboard's open line, 0141 951 1025.
Good evening and welcome back to Clyde One Super Scoreboard. We're in the final part of the Saturday show, looking back at today's games and looking ahead to tomorrow's matches as well. Let's start with today. We just got to tell you that John Rankin has resigned as the Hamilton boss after today's 4-0 loss to Airdrie. In the Premiership, it was 0-0 with Motherwell and Hearts, and St Mirren lost 3-1 at Dundee. It means that they've got just 1 point in their last 6 Premiership matches, despite their progression to the League Cup final. And it could, if results go against them, put them bottom of the table come tomorrow. Let's hear from manager Stephen Robinson.
About 18 shots and hit the target 3 times. So, That tells you it's the same story. You know, you're getting into good areas. People have to really want to score. It's not just the strikers. You know, we've 11 set plays that we rarely make first contact on, and when we do, we don't react to second phases. So it's having that desire and that ability to want to go and score goals. And at the other end, you know, they have, I think, one shot on goal, they score. Second shot on goal, they score. And we're not in a position where we're doing that at this moment in time. And if you don't take chances, you're always liable to counter-attacks. You open yourself up, and it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. The results aren't acceptable. We've not got a point since we got to the final. So, you know, subconsciously, are people's eyes on that game? And they shouldn't be, because they're not guaranteed that they're going to play in it. I can assure you of that. But as a group, all of us, it has to be better.
Cammy, is it striking issues then? You touched on it earlier today. Is that the problem? 18 shots, 1 goal, that's what you said there?
Yeah, and again, he's obviously questioning the desire of people to go and put themselves in there to go and get goals, and he's not just mentioning the strikers, though. He's talking about set pieces, which you generally look at St Mirren over the past few years. They're normally really strong at and offer a threat at set pieces, but yeah, listen, that's not good enough. 18 shots and you're only got 3 on target. It's nowhere near good enough, and it tells its story because, as I say, I think they've only scored 9 goals this season, and you're going to be down the bottom of the league if you've only scored that many.
I take it it'll be shooting practice on Monday. You know, he's highlighted that. I think when he analyses it overall, I think probably the team isn't good enough just now. It is a bit surprising, because I keep saying it. He says he's not picked up a point since he reached the cup final. That really surprises me, because I think every team with the players up their game, because they want to be desperate. And did you hear what he said there? They're not guaranteed to play, so he's obviously must be getting in telling them
but
that.
Is that not the concerning thing? That usually when you're a team that don't usually get to a cup final, and you do get to a cup final, they're dying to get the jersey for Hampden Park Hugh. How concerning is it that it seems they've almost dropped off since that 4-1 win against Motherwell?
I have to think their problems run deeper than the players are focusing on the cup final.
Yeah.
It's a fortnight away yet, and you know, they're simply not picking up points. They had a very good game against Celtic, but Celtic did what Celtic tend to do, and Callum McGregor scored the goal last Saturday night. They're better than they are showing, and I have to believe it's about more than can't stop thinking about the cup final and tickets for my pals, etc, etc, etc. Stephen Robinson is trying to put it into statistical perspective and psychological perspective. They're not exactly giving it their all, and in front of goal they are poor.
Yeah. The game just underway now. Kilmarnock against Dundee United at Rugby Park. Both teams desperate for 3 points. A huge game down in Ayrshire. Daz, which way do you see this one going? Get a prediction before we go.
For me, this game's a toss of the coin. I think both managers need a result, but I think Stuart Kettlewell is the one that needs the result more than Jim Goodwin, if I'm honest with you. I don't see, and I hate saying this, I don't see Stuart surviving if he loses this tonight at home to Dundee United.
Cammy, you Killy more important for them?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly when you look at their next fixtures coming up, Wednesday away to Hearts, then you go home to Rangers, and then you're away to Aberdeen. So for me, the next 3 fixtures are really, really difficult for Kilmarnock to pick up points. So you're at home tonight against a struggling Dundee United side. So I think it's key that Stuart Kettlewell picks up 3 points tonight.
Yeah, I think that Jim Goodwin needs a result as well.
He does.
They're bottom 6. They're 5 points behind Falkirk, who are in the 6th position. They've got 1 win in their last 6 games. Jim Goodwin needs a result as well.
The surprising thing about this is both of them got off to a reasonable start.
I know.
You know, and then all of a sudden results have went against them. St Mirren were the same. Results have went against them, and they're dropping slowly down this league.
Yep, they certainly are. Right, we've got time for one more call. We've got Dan in Overton. You'd like to talk about Martin O'Neill before what we expect is his last game in charge tomorrow at Hibs?
The tune that Martin O'Neill has the squad, which basically Brendan Rodgers ridiculed as being hopeless, is phenomenal. I don't have any problem with Brendan Rodgers' previous 2 seasons. He did well, I accept that. But from the start of this season, to me, in my opinion, it was quite obvious that Brendan Rodgers was looking for an exit. And he wasn't wanting to exit in the same condition, same experience that he had in his previous exit.
he thought he'll get out in the support of the Celtic supporters. In my opinion, he engineered the trouble with the board, and the players were Honda Civic material. Now, we couldn't score against Dundee. We got bet with Hearts. We were hopeless pretty well all over the place. We had two centre-halves, which according to Brendan Rodgers could not play in the same team. Scales and Trusty. Now, Martin O'Neill got these players playing to the extent that if Carter Vickers was even fit for tomorrow, he wouldn't get into the team. Now, it was when David Desmond came out with his statement, I applauded it because I could see with previously managing people and knowing the interests that people will use to try it for their own benefit. Previous seasons, fine. But when Brendan Rodgers wants away, the only person that counts is Brendan Rodgers. And he was quite prepared to sacrifice Celtic for him to go out without the wrath of the Celtic supporters.
Well, Dan in Overton, thank you very much for that call. Unfortunately, we don't have much more time than that. But Dan, they're just talking about everything that's gone on at Celtic. And Hugh, the only question is for the Celtic supporters now, what happens tomorrow?
Exactly. They would love to see Martin O'Neill have the final hurrah, have the final wave to the Celtic fans, having won 3 points, narrowed the gap between Celtic and Hearts, and with a game in hand. They then have to hope, and this is where Dan's point is intriguing. Dan's, again, a form of character assassination where Brendan Rodgers is concerned. The Celtic fans have to be careful what they wish for. They are losing a manager who won 11 of 13 trophies, and they are inheriting a manager who has never known anything like this in this city, in this country, and in our style of football. So be careful what you wish for, and wish Martin O'Neill a fond farewell.
Yep, Scottish football, the drama just continues. What a day it's been. Hearts dropping points once more, 0-0 at Fir Park against Motherwell. Dundee coming from behind to earn a huge 3 points against St Mirren, who now have 1 point in their last 6 games, with that League Cup final just 2 weeks away. And now all eyes turn to tomorrow. Rangers and Celtic both in action. Don't forget to tune in then. Andrew McLean will be here at 4 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining us today, and enjoy your Saturday evening.
For the game this week. I want to hear what my mates are saying. I want to tell them they're delusional. I want to tell them who'll score first. I want to call the half-time score and the full-time score. And when our kid pipes up and says, want to bet? I'll stop. Think about it. Check my limits. Check how much I've played. And maybe I'll think, nah, not today, mate. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. Gamble responsibly. Bet Fred. 18+, gambleaware.org.
I'm Professor Noel Fitzpatrick, and as a vet, I know you want the best care for your animal companion. Pet insurance can help, but you need to choose wisely as not all policies are the same. Pet Plan aim to pay claims quickly and without a fuss, and that's one reason why so many vets work with them.
Get your pet the best veterinary care. Save 10% on new policies when you insure at petplan.co.uk. T's and C's apply. Fits all media as an appointed representative of Pet Plan Limited.